The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Well, hang on a second. Why is that not playing? Hang on a second. Is the computer up? Is the fader up? Let's just try that again, because I'm supposed to be coming in with some. No, what on earth is going on? Well, that's the smooth start out of the window. Hang on a minute. I've got to get it right, because I think Chaz is listening. Here we go. Pretend that never happened.
Goodbye, Joe. We gotta go. Me oh my. Without a fly or a big roll down the bayou. My Yvonne, it falls, me oh my. Son of a gun, gonna have big fun on the bayou. Jambalaya, crawfish pie, Philly gumbo. Tonight I'm gonna see my cherry meal. Big guitar, big fruit jar, and big bill. Son of a gun, we're gonna have a lot of fun on the bayou. Kim folk come to see Yvonne by the dozen. Big guitar, big fruit jar, and Miguel. Son of a gun, we're gonna have a lot of fun on the bayou. Jambalaya, crawfish pie, Philly gumbo.
Here we go.
Tonight I'm gonna see my share meal. Big guitar, big fruit jar, and Miguel. Son of a gun, gonna have me fun on the bayou.
That'll do. Oh, man. How was your afternoon, guys? Because my afternoon was spent with Chaz Hodges from Chaz and Dave, chatting to him for an hour. And then he played a few songs, and I had my ukulele there. And I said, well, thanks for the interview, Chaz. That was lovely. Yeah, I thought we were going to have a knees up. You go and play a song on the uke. And I played a song. We're going to play the interview with Chaz next week. We're going to spread it over 2 nights, because it was about an hour, and it was all of it was gold. And then the stories he was telling me afterwards about being at Eric Clapton's wedding, and get this, Matt. Matt Haig is here, by the way, author and generally nice guy, and member of the Twitterati. Is that a thing? The Twitterati. He was so Chaz was at Eric Clapton's wedding. I don't know which one. And obviously there were lots of musicians there, and at one stage, up on stage jamming, was Chaz on piano, Ringo Starr on drums, George Harrison on guitar, and Paul McCartney on bass. Wow. Chaz was the John Lennon of the Beatles at Eric Clapton's wedding. How nuts is that? So we're going to play that next week, and I promise you, a lot of times we get guests on, and people go, well, I don't know if I want to listen to them. And some of you are probably thinking that about Chaz. Trust me, it is brilliant. We talk about Joe Meek, about Gene Vincent, about Jerry Lee Lewis, about being a pop star, about him having cancer, and it's just a brilliant, brilliant chat. But that is next week, and you'll also get to hear me singing with Chaz.
Which will be a treat for everyone.
That was sarcasm, Catherine, and that was unnecessary. Matt Haig is here. Good evening, Matt.
I am here.
I'm going to invite you closer to
Oh,
microphone.
yeah, sorry.
There we go.
I'm like, yeah.
I'm
somewhere in Surrey.
Yes. Now, Matt Haig, author?
I am, yep.
Man?
Yeah, mostly.
I'm seeing if I can get 3 out of 3. Lots of my listeners will know you because, of course, Reasons to Stay Alive.
Mm-hmm.
But the new book, and boy, oh boy, it's always a relief when a guest comes in and their new product is good. Otherwise, it's an embarrassing. I've done that before. I've interviewed someone and I'm thinking, that new album really is a stinker.
Is an album.
That's a collection of songs you've put together. Gosh, how long, you've got to be tactful. But the new book, How to Stop Time.
Yes, it is.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I loved it. And you very kindly sent me and Kath copies ages ago. And
Well, I owed Kath a copy. She
kind of co-wrote it with you. That's what she's saying.
Yeah, her name is in the book now, in the
In
acknowledgements.
fact, I'm going to take a picture and boast about it.
Okay.
What the hell did she do? What?
Oh, well, she's fluent in French, and I'm not so fluent in French. I did French A level, but I got D in French A level. But did you live in France?
Yeah, I did French degree, and I lived in Paris for 6 months.
Okay, so
But I also I had some help from Katia, our Belgian.
Oh,
correspondent.
hang on a second. So
I got to have a look for. You know that I got someone who spoke French to have a quick look over it, but I was largely correct.
Yeah,
I'm going to
so-
take all the praise anyway.
I owe it all to Kath, basically. You know,
Yes.
my bilingual novel.
I did. I've read the book once thoroughly, and I've skimmed through it again. I couldn't find any of the passages that I sent you, Matt. I wondered what the thinking, what the reasoning was behind that. Is it because mine was an early press copy?
I just didn't want you stealing my thunder.
You very kindly sent it to us early, and I was aware that I was very quiet online about it for a long time, just because I had such a pile of books that I needed to read, because we had guests coming in who wanted to talk about them. So don't take my silence as a
judgment.
Yes, this is a collection of words. And I read it. I think maybe a few days before it got released to the general public. Man alive, it's good. It's a brilliant story that just weaves. I'm always cautious about talking about books because I don't want to give away anything. So, spoiler alert free zone here. Give us the basic premise for those hovering over Amazon.
Time. Okay, it is about a old man.
Yes.
And when I say old, unfeasibly old, he is 439 years old, which is pretty old. And he doesn't look that age, though, because he's got a condition called anageria, where you age incredibly slowly. So for every, 15 years of real time, he's aging like one biological year. So he is aging. He's going to get really old. He's not like an immortal, sexy vampire or anything that's stuck at one end. He is going to get older, but he's currently looking around about 40-ish.
Yeah,
about my kind of age, I suppose. And he's a history teacher in London, who is history basically, and he's trying to work out how to live, because obviously he's fallen in love before, but they had a normal lifespan, and he's gone on for centuries without them. And it's about, him trying to work out how to live in the present moment.
And it's painfully funny in places. I mean, I love the bits with Shakespeare in. It was just delicious.
I felt naughty. You get these creative writing courses. I just knew that any creative writing course tutor would say, do not put William Shakespeare in your book. Don't have William Shakespeare speaking actual words in your book. But I partly for that reason, because I thought it was a bit of a naughty thing to do. But it was fun. I treated it like, the great thing with fiction is it's just not just escapism to read, it's escapism to write. So when I was writing it, I was using it as my little fantasy time machine of where I want to go. And if I went back to Elizabethan London, first thing I'd want to do is go and get a glimpse of Shakespeare.
Yeah, of course.
Go and meet the guy. And so I did it.
You did?
Via my...
How does it, it's also very moving, it's funny, it's clever, it's moving, it's a good old-fashioned romp as well, How do you come up with, this is going to be one of those questions you get on Swap Shop or something, how do you come up with your ideas? But I'm going to just say it. How do you come up with an idea like that? Is it a dream? Are you out walking the dog?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd written a book called The Humans a few years ago.
Yeah,
that was about an alien coming to Earth, and so that was my book of space. And while I was writing a book of space, I thought it'd be nice to have a book of time.
Yeah,
I think that was the idea. And I don't really know. I mean, I think I've come on here before and talked about mental health stuff. I think a lot of that came in.
Yeah,
the idea of someone having a condition that no one else can see, and it's just, I get bored when I'm writing reality. For about 3 years now, I've been trying to write a really realistic novel. It's about this agoraphobic, and it's the day that they leave the house and they have a good afternoon out of the house. And I get 3 chapters in, and then it suddenly becomes like an alien invasion or something. I can't do it.
You can't do
I feel like, well, no,
vanilla.
Because the point, you can go anywhere with fiction. That's the idea, and so I was thinking, and I also think it's getting harder to write about reality because there's so many, every time, I don't know, a certain American president tweets, reality sort of melts a bit. So I think, yeah.
Isn't the world nuts at the moment? I mean, properly. I've kind of got this theory that significant parts of the world, particularly Britain, are suffering post-traumatic stress because of Brexit, because of Trump, because of the terrorism, and because of that weird general election where everything kind of fell apart.
Yes.
It's a really stressful, strange time. And then
the losers won and the winners lost.
Something like that. And just when you think Trump can't get any more nuts, he hires someone for 10 days who says that a member of Trump's team can suck his own dick. And you're thinking, what? And then he comes out and says, oh yeah, the White House is a real dump. That's why I'm playing golf for them.
Yes.
What's going on?
And yet I
It's
sincerely believe he thinks all the other news and criticism, that's all fake. He genuinely believes his reality, which changes second by second. And what that guy,
Scaramucci, yes.
Fandango.
I missed that guy.
He was
good.
He was great. But, I mean, what was that? Like 8 days or something?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But in those 8 days, he got a job, lost a job, had a baby, lost his wife. I mean, his marriage broke up.
He'd missed the birth of his child.
To take this job.
So it's like, Dad,
if you were to write that, people would say that
why weren't you at my birth? Oh, well.
It was this week.
It's a crazy week.
It was, he was something else. But, hey, listen, it'll all end in a nuclear war, so, this period will pass.
Exactly. The cockroaches will be fine.
Matt, we have a phone. People can call in, and I don't know if they've called in to speak to you, abuse me, or whatever. You've got some headphones there somewhere. If you put those on, if you follow that cable round, there'll be a little dial that will...
I've messed with it a bit, but so it doesn't blast your head off.
Let's go to Mark. Good evening, Mark.
Hello, Ian.
Hello.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, 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 Mark. What have you got for us this evening?
Well, I don't know if you remember, but I rang John Gaunt on the other day to say that I enjoyed both your shows.
Oh, right. Yes.
Right. So anyway, John said.
I don't even want to mention his name on my show. That man is abusive.
A certain person said, well, we'll see what happens when his 15 drunks ring up and that. But your radar figures come out. I think it's more than 15 drunks, was it not?
It's 59,000 people are listening to us this very second, Mark, which is why I don't want to give a very bitter bra onanist any publicity whatsoever. But thanks very much for your call. No, they weren't there to speak to you. 0344 499 1000. Alan!
Hi, Sam.
Sorry?
Hi, Ian.
Yeah, for goodness sake, this is not... Yeah. Alan, what question have you got for author Matt Haig?
I was going to say, what inspired you to be a writer?
Oh, what inspired you to be a writer? That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a really good question, Alan. Thank you. All kinds of things inspired me to be a writer. When I was recovering from an illness in my 20s, writing was a great help for me, and I wrote a lot, and it helped calm my mind.
Can you
take me out of myself.
Can you still believe that you sometimes go, this is my job. This is my job, is I'm writing books for a living. I sometimes get that doing this, that my job is to come in and mess around for 3 hours on the air with Kath and talk nonsense. I get paid, and it feeds my children.
Yeah, there's occasional moments where, because most of the time it's just your life, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you'll know that, and you don't think about it. But then there's occasional moments where you think about it. Like recently, I went to the town of Newark-on-Trent, where I grew up, and I did an event in the town hall. And so I was seeing people I hadn't seen for 20 years that had been to school. It was like a Facebook page come to life.
Wow.
It was a bit scary, but also strangely nice as well. And I saw my old English teacher as well, and she was like,
she must have been over the moon.
Yeah, and also because I wrote that book, Reasons to Stay Alive. At events, you'll sometimes, I'll be like, I don't know, signing my autograph, being self-indulgent, looking down, and then look up, and they'll be crying or something, and you don't realise that you can write something, and you found it when you wrote that blog, didn't you? But you write something, and you don't. They're strangers to you, but you've somehow
we've
done
connected
something
with
that
them.
meant a lot to them. Yeah, and it's a kind of tricky thing to absorb, but it's a lovely thing. But I don't know. No, I don't always appreciate it. I don't think.
It's funny you mention that connection because me and Kath have been doing a few live shows. And you go out, and we always say afterwards, look, if you want to stick around and have a picture or whatever, of course we'll do it. If you're going to put money in our pocket, we'll come and shake your hands. And the number of people that come up and say, you know, the show is really special because of this, or it helps me with this, or the connection that I think you have with your writers, and I think that some people, you know, we have with our listeners. We forget that, I'm a radio fan, so I kind of have relationships with people on the radio when I'm at home or when I'm feeling low or whenever. And we forget that the work that we do, it does have an impact on people, and particularly your books. Particularly, I mean, the Reasons to Stay Alive book is, is heralded by voices around the world. How many languages is that in now?
41.
That's incredible.
We just got Latvian.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You got that Latvian market.
I've always wanted a Latvian.
That's an amazing achievement, isn't it?
It's not in Icelandic yet. Apparently, if you get Icelandic, that's when you've really done it.
Did you tweet you're going to do a sequel to it? You are doing a sequel.
Well, kind of. I'm doing another book vaguely about mental health, but it'll be less personal, less about me. It's more about how the world's just making us mad. Yeah. And how, what you were saying, basically, about how there's various things that are causing us stress about our society. Because I think we're very good at talking about physical health and about how, I don't know, if you've got asthma, fitted carpets or central heating might make it worse, air pollution, things like that, and diet and stuff. But I think we're bad at we always think mental health is just down to the person who's got it.
Yes.
Whereas I think there's a broader social look at mental health as well.
There's that terrible story in the news today, but that judge, there's a young lady. Did you hear this story? There's a young lady who's 17 who is, I can't remember the exact details of it, but she is being held securely because she's a very high suicide risk, and the hospital can't keep her any longer legally, and they are saying if we let her go, she will quite probably kill herself within the next 48 hours.
Oh,
and there is nowhere for her to go, and this judge has come out today and said that we are Britain, we are one of the richest countries in the world, and we could potentially have blood on our hands if this young lady is released without the care that she needs to protect her life. And it is that thing, Theresa May talks about, well, we're going to take mental health seriously and we're going to do this. When we were doing local radio, the number of times we heard stories about someone's kid was self-harming and the nearest bed that they could get was 300 miles away.
Or a police station.
Police get locked
Kids
up.
being held in a police station.
Because there was nowhere for them to go. And it just makes you... I mean, yes, it's great that people talk about it, and your book helped, and Stephen Fry talking about it, and all. It feels we can talk about it a bit more.
Yeah.
There's only so much talking can achieve.
It's a thing that politicians love to talk about. They get brownie points, they get karma points. It makes them look good. It shows that they're sort of forward thinking and stuff. But it needs as much money as physical healthcare does. I mean, my big thing, the sort of drum I bang, is that this line we have between physical health and mental health is a bit of a fuzzy one anyway, because, for one thing, your brain is a physical thing. You know, it's dependent on blood and the rest of you. And there's a lot of research now that, we don't really just think with our brains. Our brains interact so much with our bodies.
Yeah.
Like, we've got a nervous system in our gut, and we're sort of thinking bodies in a way. So this line we've got between physical health and mental health, which a line I think causes a lot of stigma, because for instance, like a 50-something bloke will happily go to the doctor about arthritis pain or chest pain or cough. Obviously there's some more embarrassing physical things, but your average physical thing, they won't be so likely to go and say, oh, I've just been having feelings of despair. Because they'll just think that's a total judgment on them as a person.
And there are still people that make that judgment. I mean, you particularly, I know we'll talk about Twitter in a bit, but Twitter's just full of arseholes, isn't it? I mean,
well,
really.
I think what it is, I think it brings out everyone's inner arsehole,
yeah,
doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think, you know, if we've got a slight arseholiness to it,
yeah,
put us on Twitter and it'll unleash.
We've got Tom's called in. Good evening, Tom.
Yeah, hi.
Hello, Tom. You're on the
How
air.
are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. What have you got for us, Tom?
I just wanted to talk really about the mind and body connection.
Oh, there we go. Look, perfect timing. Yes. What is your observation, Tom?
Tom,
do us a favour, Tom, turn your radio off because it's going to confuse everybody.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Okay. There it is. You see, there's the delay in the background.
All right.
There we go, Tom. Go on.
And I feel personally that there is very much a connection between the mind and the body. Whatever the mind is thinking, the body will react to, and I also think that what you're actually thinking,
yes,
can have a massive effect on every single little cell in your body.
Uh-huh.
And I've read quite a lot about it, but I actually feel it myself. So what you're actually thinking, and not just what you're thinking about yourself, but what you're thinking about other people as well.
I know what I'm thinking about you right now.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah.
Hang on, explain this. How does this manifest itself in your day-to-day living then, Tom?
I'm a psychotherapist.
Oh, here we go. Okay, right.
So what you think about others,
yes,
is if you can imagine really electricity and what it actually does, yes, and how it manifests itself in society and what it looks like.
How electricity manifests itself in society,
and you can see it.
You can't see electricity?
No, exactly, yeah.
What?
But, no, I'm talking about thoughts. Can you see thoughts?
You've still got your radio on. Yeah. Well, thanks for calling, Tom. Thanks for calling. It's late night radio.
You can't, though, can you? You can't see thoughts.
You can't see thoughts?
Unless you're a cartoon and then you get a bubble.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Can you see thoughts? I'm confused now. Can you see thoughts or not? No, you can't. You can't. That's
Sometimes you can read them on my face.
Here's the thing.
They come out on the face.
or in your finger. It comes
No, they've done research, you know, to people who've had Botox.
Oh, yeah.
And people who've had Botox injections, this is very deadly serious, Ian.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
They find it impossible to read the expressions on other people's faces.
No.
The people who've had Botox can't read other people's faces.
The act of us frowning helps us understand other people frowning. So this is about how thinking is a physical process.
I'm going to give you Tom's number. You can discuss this this off air.
This is all hard science.
This is. Do you get? Can I ask? This is a question that might sound a bit odd and a bit blunt. Do you get bored talking about the depression?
God, yes.
Yeah, because I know I do sometimes, and I have a tiny fraction of the attention that you get for it.
Yeah, no, which is why I didn't. Which is why I waited for ages. I mean, that's why I wrote How to Stop Time, but also I've been writing these kids' books about Father Christmas and stuff because I didn't want to be
the depressive guy.
No, and name dropping now, but I was in touch with Stephen Fry, who obviously has spoken a lot about depression, and he really said you don't want to become Mr. Depression because he had it. I mean, obviously he's a Renaissance man himself who does loads of stuff, but he had that year where he did that documentary, and he was just sort of primarily known for bipolar. And I had a real problem dealing with it. But then I thought, well, my whole argument is to be totally shameless about it.
Yeah.
And in a weird way, talking about it casually sometimes makes me feel better. You know, talking about it as if it is arthritis or, you know, it's obviously horrible and it's a life-threatening thing and all of that. But, I don't know. I'm in two minds about it, basically, Ian. I certainly don't want to only ever talk about that.
Yeah. You live in Brighton. How's that? Because Brighton strikes me as a weird place to live.
Yeah.
Too busy.
I've got a friend who doesn't live in Brighton, but he said this about Brighton. He said Brighton is like the house party where the parents have gone away and everyone's having an amazing time. But you kind of at some point need the parents to come back.
Yeah.
And just tell everyone off.
Yeah.
and sort it out and pick up the litter and just, stop smoking the funny stuff. Just, no, but Brighton's great. Brighton's friendly. I think you can judge a place by its drivers.
Right, okay.
And everyone lets you out on the road. There's not really road rage in Brighton.
I tell you why there's no road rage in Brighton. It's because the parking is so bloody expensive there. If you try and park in the town in Brighton...
Oh, yeah, you can't park in Brighton.
It's more expensive than London. It's incredible.
You have to go to, Hove or Lewis or somewhere to park.
Then walk in from Lewis.
Yeah, a little 10-mile trek to the beach.
0344 499 1000. We'll have a little break. This is Talk Radio. We're joined by Matt Haig, at Matt Haig, HAIG1 on Twitter. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go and bombard the other Matt Haig with...
who is he anyway?
Who is that loser?
Forklift truck driver.
You try saying that 5 times.
I can't speak.
And you've not been drinking for the last few weeks. 0344 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000 is the phone number. Matt Haig joins us. His new book, How to Stop Time, is it's brilliant. It's funny. There's a rollicking adventure. There's a love story in it, and it's a cracking read. Well, you've tweeted about the possibility of it becoming a movie, haven't you? You've tweeted the name
Benedict.
You've tweeted that name, haven't you? So that's not we're not revealing any secrets. How does that work with books then? Someone buys the rights to it, but may make a film or may not make a film. Is that?
Yeah, I mean they have to. So a lot of these companies buy more books than they'll make into movies. But in this case, he's attached to play. So we've got the actor.
Yeah.
And it is Benedict Cumberbatch, so it's obviously a sort of hot property kind of actor, and I think they've got writers and directors, and they're picking and choosing and working out finances and things like that.
Isn't that funny? That's incredible.
It's exciting, but obviously I'm a natural born pessimist.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
And I think it keeps you a bit sane if you don't think about red carpets and stuff, but you just. I've been in this situation before, but never with the actor.
Right.
And they've gone public, and there's a lot of buzz about it. And, and the book's doing well. So I think, it's more likely than anything else that I've done.
And the joy of this, quite often if I'm reading a book, and I like to make up my own face of the person, but Cumberbatch fits the character perfectly. Absolutely perfectly.
And it sounds really unlikely now, but I did actually have his image in mind, because there's very few people who could get very sort of few 40-something, 40-ish males, British, who could legitimately look like they've got centuries worth of intensity. But he's quite intense, isn't it? And mysterious. He's like the Mona Lisa of actors, so you never really know what's going on. Yeah. All of that.
Oh, I hope that happens. Because it will make a great movie. It will make a wonderful movie. It's got everything you need.
Oh, thanks, Iain. I hope so.
The book's doing really well. It's it's selling bucket loads, I would imagine.
Yes. I mean, compared to my previous book, it's doing a lot better. What's nice is the tour, because I'm doing this tour. It's nearly over now, but I've been doing it, and actually to have people at the events. Yeah. Because that's not a guarantee when you're a writer, and certainly not when you're starting out. Like I can remember, 10 years ago, doing an event for 2 people. And one of those people was just sitting down because she had rheumatoid arthritis. God. So. She wasn't going anywhere. She was just resting her legs.
Did she buy a book at the end of it?
No.
Oh, no!
It's honestly better in that case to have 0 people, because then you don't have to do the event. Yeah. If you've got 2 people, you're having to do that.
And it must be good doing...
But now, I'm not exactly filling the O2, but it's been mainly sold out over bookshops and stuff. So it's been nice to know there's people who are going to actually listen.
And lovely pictures of thrilled fans on Twitter, it's great just seeing, because I've got 2 kids, they're 7 and 5, and books are so important in our house. And my my eldest, for Christmas I bought him the Secret 7 box set. He's read that and he's now devouring the famous 5. And it started off with me reading them to him. And then I wasn't reading it fast enough, so he's reading them all on his own now. And
They're amazing. They're Famous Five.
Yeah.
I know sort of Enid Blyton's a bit controversial in some ways, but Famous Five, their pacing and everything.
Yeah.
It's so modern.
Yeah.
You know, because you think reading a book, well, they're like 70 years old now or something. Yeah. They're just, they're so fast.
They're cracking
adventures.
Adventures of kids. Is that exciting?
Kids actually like to read. You know, it's not like, some books you want your children to read. But no, kids actually, once they start reading.
Oh, he's devouring it. And I'll get home, I'll get up in the morning and he'll say, well, I'm on page, he's really into the pages. I'm on page 138 and yesterday, and he tells me everything. I tell you what I bought him as well. I bought him one of those, choose your own adventure books.
Right.
Do you remember those?
Still do those.
I love them.
They're all about to be relaunched. The ones where do you go west, go to page 76? Do you go east, go to page 92?
Or do you cheat and just check out where it's going to end up?
But they could be really dark, couldn't they? Because if you went the wrong way, everyone was eaten by wolves in the forest or something.
Yeah, but books in our house are really important, and we've got loads of books, and we've always bought books, and we've always, if we go into town, we'll go into Waterstones, and we'll choose books, and we're lucky enough we can afford them, and they've always been members of libraries. But there is this kind of what's the point I'm getting to? Lots of people say that books are dead. Books are boring, books are old-fashioned, books are dead. So to see your pictures, this is it. I knew I was getting to something. To see the pictures of the people at your events smiling and excited and happy to meet an author, I think it's heartwarming. There's still kind of that buzz about a book.
Yeah, I think so. And I think social media helps it now because authors can interact with readers, and there's all sorts of things wrong with Twitter, obviously. But I think authors like 10, 20 years ago were seen in their sort of ivory towers as a separate species, and it's now it's back to sort of like round the campfire storytelling. And one thing I'm really against, and I always bang on about it, and I annoy the publishing industry a lot about this, is that I'm really against this whole sort of class system of books. I think there's a real sort of high, middle and low idea about books. And it's a new thing. You go back, over 100 years and you had, I suppose Dickens is the classic example. I mean, Dickens was a total populist. Yeah. He wrote pot boilers with, sentimentality, and he milked stuff, and they were published in magazines before there were books. At the same time, some of the most intelligent works of the 19th century were by Charles Dickens, and people wanted to read them. But now we have this idea that if a book's serious, no one wants to read it, or if a book but everyone wants to read, then there can't be any worth to it. And I think it's just a sort of snobbery thing, and I try and ignore that totally. I forget I'm even writing a thing called a novel and just think of it as a story. You're just telling a story, basically.
Yeah. I love, there's a thing you've been tweeting a bit, and then I realised it was part of the book, that poem about, I love it when you turn pages on their side and the words look like skyscrapers. I'm misquoting it terribly.
Yeah. Well, a lot of that was basically a chapter of a book that just started as a tweet.
Right. It's brilliant.
The whole book, actually. I did a tweet which was how to stop time, Kiss, how to...
Of course, yes.
And it went a bit viral. And so
some
I think it might be the first ever novel adapted from a tweet.
There you go, you see.
You don't need to read the novel, just read the tweet. It's a lot quicker.
That tweet was doing the rounds and without your name on it for a lot of the time as well. It became a
Well, it's on cushions and plates now as well, isn't it? It's got a life of its own.
Yeah. I saw, who did I see the other day? Julian Lennon. To tweet it. I think it's just you become a meme, don't you?
Yeah,
and then, so you can't really say, hey, that's mine. You have to let it go. You just let it go out into the world.
Come on, Lennon, give me that back.
Come on.
You got a degree recently.
Yeah, very hard work that was.
Well, I'm taking it. How does that work? You get a letter saying, "Here, Matt, look, can we offer you a degree? Do you will you come and accept it?"
Well, Kingston University, I've done some events with them. They've got a thing called the Big Read, and they chose my book, where they give a book out to all the freshers at the university, and they chose my one. They'd done Nick Hornby the year before. They did The Humans.
Brilliant.
My book last year. And, every year they give one person an honorary doctorate, and this year it was me. So technically, I'm Dr. Matt Haig now. So
does that mean they own you? Are you on call?
Yeah. No, apparently, if it's an honorary doctorate, you're not really meant to call yourself doctor.
Oh, come on.
It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop me. If it's a plane, someone says, "Is there a doctor on this plane?" I thought, "Yeah,
well, technically,
absolutely."
You get that on a credit card, won't you? You'll get the doctor on a credit card.
Restaurant reservations.
Yes, apparently it does work with that.
And you gave a lovely speech. Do you enjoy doing things like that? Or
I don't know if it's... yeah, I don't, actually.
No.
I don't mind this. I like chatting to you, but when you're standing at a lectern and you're... and you're wearing ridiculous clothes.
Did you have the gowns and the cap?
It wasn't even a cap. It wasn't even a mortarboard like everyone else.
That's like a beret, isn't it?
Bonnet. Yes. It's just... I don't know. I look like a plonker from like 16th century had literally just arrived there. And then, yeah, so I took my bonnet off at the lectern. But then, yeah, I get into... That's always been one of my fears, my anxiety, because anxiety is perhaps a bigger thing for me than depression. I just get nervous about everything. And like when I was at university, I can remember I was having to do an art history presentation. It was only like for 12 people.
Yeah.
But I spent months worrying about it, and I've still got a little bit of that. So, but no, it was fine. I deep breathed and I did a speech and people clapped and it was nice. And my mum and dad were there. And I even though I have technically graduated from university, I never went to my graduation.
Right.
So they never had the photo.
Oh,
so now they've got a mighty photo of their son in his bonnet.
They must be, that being a doctor to one side, but they must be so proud of you, what you've achieved.
Yeah, I mean, there's little moments, when their friends phone them because they saw me in the paper. Yeah, they are, but they I think they do everyone's head in about it. My sister, particularly.
Oh, God, really, yeah.
They do that. But, I love them dearly, and I love them being proud of me. But, yeah, I think to, like, their neighbours and friends, it's just like, they'll come round with they'll invite someone to tea, and they'll just literally have press cuttings on the sofa. We've got a random cutout.
Here's a video of it. Matt was on TV this morning. Here's a video of it.
You might have missed it. But...
Oh, that's lovely. Listen, we need to take another quick break and then we'll have a few more minutes. Matt Haig is here. This is Talk Radio.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
We've got another few minutes with Matt Haig. The new book, I'm gonna tweet it all at about 15 minutes, where you can get How to Stop Time, and I thoroughly. It's hard to kind of to recommend all the books, because here are my top 5 in no particular order. Matt Haig books: The Humans, which it turns out I misunderstood. I thought it was about mental illness, but it's actually about an alien.
It is about it.
I was being too clever. How to Stop Time, Reasons to Stay Alive, and both of the Christmas books. Which here's where your genius lies. You've written 2 books that have now become, certainly in my household, and I'm sure households around the country, a Christmas tradition is get out one or two of those books, which is an amazing achievement to do. To write 2 timeless Christmas books that fit perfectly in the run up to Christmas.
That's nice. Yeah, I'll take that compliment.
There's a compliment. There's no question there.
I'll nod my head, yes.
You also made me attempt a Finnish accent, right? And I started it, and it was one of those things where the kids would not let me drop it. It was like, well, you're not doing his voice anymore. No, I'm not. It's really hard.
And also, what's good about those books is, because I would read it, I'd have the 2 boys in bed, and I'd sit at the edge of the bed, and, sometimes you're reading and you just want to get it over with so that they fall asleep and you can go and have a cup of coffee or watch telly or something. And the problem with those Christmas books is they've got really, really good drawings in. So you're trying to flick through the pages and read it, and they go, Daddy, is there a picture?
Yes.
That's where the elves live. Okay, right. Is there a picture? There's no picture on this page. Is it good? Yes, that, and you've got constantly. So please stop putting pictures in your books.
There's about 80 in them, I think. 80, yeah. Guy called Chris Mould is very good. We've done a 3rd, but it's going to be the final.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do we know that? Do you
Father
know the
Christmas
title?
and Me.
Oh, fantastic!
It's told by Amelia, the girl, and it's out. I think they're doing it a bit earlier this year, so October.
Oh, brilliant! Brilliant! But proper Christmas tradition now in the house is to get out a Matt Haig and have a little read with it, and it's wonderful to have done that. You've invaded our Christmases, which is fantastic.
I'm the literary slave.
You are a noddy holder.
Well, there's something in that. So I thoroughly recommend going and having a look at all of those. Matt Haig, Haig, and I'll tweet links and all of that kind of stuff. You are on Twitter a lot. You are quite outspoken on Twitter a lot. You libtard, social justice warrior cuck.
We should do our own Twitter rehab group.
We should do. Even I wince when I say the word libtard. I just find it's such a horrific word. There's a brilliant American writer, Rex Hupke, who writes for a Chicago newspaper, and we got him on to talk about just how horrendous that word is because of where it cut the derivation of it. You know, it's a horrible word that it's
but that's why they do it, isn't it? Yeah. Just so they can. Oh, you're politically correct.
Yeah, no, actually, that's a really nasty word to bandy around.
It's just horrible. I feel like there's a real. I know everyone says it, and you feel like a geriatric saying it, but it's just like schoolyard bullying sort of environment, isn't it?
Primarily from nameless people or people with giant maps behind them in their mum's bedrooms. Or frogs.
Frogs, flags, and guns.
Frogs.
Yeah, they're the signals.
Hey guys, it's just free speech. I don't like blacks or Muslims. Okay, well, that's racism. Oh, there you go. You've called me a racist. Well, because you're being a racist. That's why. Do you never think though? I should just shut up on Twitter. Quite often I think that about myself. I should just shut up.
Quite often you tweet that, which is kind of...
I'm looking for the button that allows you to mute yourself.
Yeah.
It's just like, too much. I think I must be so annoying. I would have unfollowed me, definitely.
And people probably have, but people will have told you that they've... All right, I'm unfollowing you. Well, thanks a lot.
It's like, but then I think, well, you know, it's sort of... I don't know. I mean, again, two minds, but I think... I think in a weird way Twitter keeps me sane, and even when there's a little bit of trouble on Twitter, I think I'm someone who kind of likes a little bit of external chaos just to cope with internal chaos. So,
okay, that's interesting.
Getting a bit deep here, but I think, like I used to live in a house in York, and it flooded, and just before it flooded, I was starting to feel a bit depressed and weird. And then when it flooded, everyone says, oh, you must be so stressed, your house is flooded. And actually, I felt better.
You had something to focus on.
I had something to focus on. My sort of caveman brain was like how it was meant to be.
Well, also something that had a practical solution.
I had a practical solution, yes, because you had a problem and, you know, lost a bit of money and everything and lost the value of a house. But in a weird way, I was stressed, but normal stress.
But you could fix it,
Yeah, not ill stressed. So, and I think Twitter's sometimes like that. I think I deliberately, you know, when you're going to say, if you've got a blue tick, they automatically put you high up on the responses. So if you respond to Donald Trump, you know you're going to get 1,000 people on your timeline who are, you know, rednecks, for want of a better word, and just, you know, utterly going for you. But I don't know. I find that strangely calming. That's my meditation.
Isn't that funny? Because I go through periods, like now I'm arguing with an idiot, and I'm kind of trying to stop because
I think when it's just one person, though, and it's continual and ongoing, then it gets a bit heavy.
But I've had a few brushes with Paul Joseph Watson, a few minor brushes.
Me and you both, yes.
And I kind of...
I saw Nigel Farage the other day, trying to get Paul Joseph Watson to, I don't know, 1 million YouTube views. And I thought, oh my goodness.
Really?
This is real end times. But, he's just, for those who don't know, he's just a dweeb in his bedroom who says provocative things that he probably only half believes just to...
Well, the racism, casual racism to one side. The one that got me was the video about depression isn't real.
Totally,
which is not just... But I've had a couple of kind of run-ins with him. One of them, I enjoyed it, and it was great sport.
He owes me $1 million.
Go on, this is brilliant. Go on, tell us.
Well, there's another rude word called Milo. Who,
I miss that guy.
Who, another provocateur, as he would self-style himself, who wrote a book, and he got dropped by his publisher, and then he published it himself. And then I'd said a comment about Milo's book deal, and Paul Joseph Watson said to me, well, I bet you, and to all his troll army, I bet $1 million.
It's always dollars with him.
It's always dollars. He's born in Sheffield.
Yeah, he's from Yorkshire.
Yeah, he does all American spellings as well. He takes the U out of words to be American.
Oh,
$1 million that Milo's book will outsell yours. Well, the bookseller, the trade magazine for the book industry, reported 2 weeks ago that Milo's book in the UK, total sales were 159 copies.
Yeah.
And even in America, it's only like 18,000 or something. It wasn't the millions they were expecting.
You've done a bit better than that, have you?
So I've done a little bit better. And he's still got his tweet up saying he'll pay me $1 million. So I'm not really expecting $1 million.
Take him to court! He'd take you to court for that. Take him to court, Matt.
I don't think there's much of a case, just because we haven't specified which currency. It could be, there's lots of dollars out there. It could be cowboy monopoly dollars.
Twitter's a strange old world. And I know some good things happen. We've made contact through Twitter, and I've met other people through Twitter. But I personally, I think the bad outweighs the good. Yeah. I really do.
I think so. But I do think it's a little bit. You can find there are enough good people on it.
Yeah.
If you were very disciplined, Ian, and I'm not, so I'm totally not the person to give you advice. I'm worse than you at finding the wrong people. But I think if we managed to just really focus on good people, then we could just be about all right. But it takes a lot of blocking and muting.
You had a thing where people sending you dick pics.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just...
I think it's worse for women in some
think
ways.
so.
That's the extra thing. So they will give you all the insults as well, and then show you their or other people's private parts. I'm not convinced it was his willy, to be honest.
It's really weird why random strangers think their genitals are so interesting and stimulating.
It's like baboons, isn't it? It's like baboons.
I think it's a little bit.
Have some of that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's convinced me of your argument. Thanks.
You've not commented on the pictures I've sent you of my willy. You've not said anything.
I don't believe it's yours.
It's a stunt. It's a stunt dick.
Put a 50p next to it.
So what are you? How does it work? Have you got a writing room at home? Have you got a study where you go in and
Well, I got a house with a shed because I thought I'd be like Roald Dahl and go out every morning to my shed. Didn't work.
No, sheds are horrible. Horrible places.
I know some men and sheds, isn't it? It's the thing, but no, I don't like sheds. And also, I don't like anywhere where I go and think, right, this is me, this is my work time, because then I can't. I try and pretend I'm not working when I'm working, and then it's better work. Right. Like you have fun on your show.
Yeah.
As soon as it feels like work, it becomes less good. And I think, for me, it was. I just write on the sofa. I just have my laptop out.
Do you really?
I have a Word document and then Twitter.
And loose women on in the background.
Yeah. So I write my nice, sedate, sort of philosophical. Donald Trump is a.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you write about. You don't like him. Listen, he won the election, Snowflake. He's out.
He lost he got less votes. Though. I think he really struggles with that because actually, to understand their sort of electoral college system, it takes complexity. Trump world, it's like you win or you lose. So I think he's still got a massive issue.
We got time for one more call. Let's go to Jerry. Evening, Jerry.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing tonight, Jerry?
I'm all right, thank you.
Excellent stuff. What have you got?
I've got some questions about the restoration.
About what? We've got to be a bit patient with Jerry. Jerry's got Parkinson's, and some nights it's a little bit easier than others. But you've got questions about the restoration?
My electricity in the underground. There's a woman in the local shop. I've seen her on Babe Station.
You've seen a woman from your local shop on Babe Station? Where? Hang on a minute, mate. We've got an author. We've got one of Britain's leading authors, a doctor no less. And you're talking about the woman from the spa working on Babe Station.
Also, Jerry, don't you judge her. You're the one watching it.
She hasn't got a mattress in the shop, though, and discuss, please. She hasn't got a mattress in the shop.
Yes.
And it's cheaper. The items are cheaper than the station.
Yes. Right. So what? I don't know. I don't understand what your question is. What do you think you should pay her an extra £1.50 every time you talk to her?
No, it's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
Well, I suggest loosening your belt, Jerry. I think that might help.
Oh, Jerry.
Wow.
Jerry really is. That's a little bit fruity. Bless Jerry. Well, there you go.
One of those jobs isn't paying too well, is it?
How much more of the book tour have you got? Are you nearly done?
I'm nearly done. I've got Edinburgh, St Andrews, and there's a place in Shropshire called.
And you go out on your own and do it. Your family are at home, are they?
Yeah. Sometimes I drag them with me.
That must be hard work.
Yeah, and so I drag my 8 and a 9-year-old to listen to me talk about mental health and stuff. No, it's been fine. Most of the time it's me on my own.
Yeah.
So a lot of hotel rooms.
Lonely?
Babe stations. No.
Babe station and spa is the place to
the
go.
New Netflix and chill.
Is there an audiobook of this yet? How does it work with the audio?
Yeah, there's a guy called Mark Meadows who's really good. He's an under-acknowledged voice actor, but he's brilliant.
Yeah.
And he's done all 3 of my books with Canongate for adults.
And does he do all the voices? Like
He does.
Kath was
Can he
saying.
do Finnish?
He does the voices. Yeah, he goes up an octave when it's a female character.
Does he really?
Yeah.
We had the brilliant Jim Dale on. We should get Jim on again from the Carry On films, and he's a big star in America now. And Stephen Fry does the Harry Potter books over here, but Jim Dale does the Harry Potter books, audiobooks.
Yeah.
In America, and he does this wonderful little sort of rehearsed little bit he's got where he does all the different voices and he just plucks them out of thin air, and you just think, God blimey, I couldn't be bothered. I'm like you, I start doing the voices,
Try and get out of it,
and then I'm just do read it.
There's a little sleepy voice. Do the voice.
Or also sometimes you start doing a voice and then you realise it's like a girl or something. It's a new character. And
you turn the page and it's not the person you thought.
Yeah, so you go, it's an absolute bloody night. Just write less voices in your books. Matt, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for coming in.
It's my favourite thing to do, Ian.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't
know, because I feel like I'm...
Well, bless you for that.
Your long-lost brother.
We are brothers who have... What's the phrase? Brothers from different mothers. Another mother. That's the...
You're so straight.
Thank you very much indeed. I'm trying to work on it. We love having you in. And, I didn't ask you in because I knew that you were busy, but you have an open invitation any time you want to come in. The book is a joy. It's an absolute joy. And you know, dear listener, we don't recommend stuff if it's pony. We don't do that. It's How to Stop Time, and it is it's wonderful. I'm going to tweet all of the links in a bit, and I'll tweet Matt's Twitter feed as well. Thank you so much for coming in, Matt.
Thanks, Ian. Thanks, Kath. Thank you.
You can give us a call now, dear listener. Normal service resumes. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. This is Talk Radio.
Talk Radio.
Matt leaves the premises. He's escorted off the premises, just in case. He's got very deep pockets. Normal service resumes, dear listener. 0344 499 1000. This is the Late Night Alternative with me, Iain Lee, on Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road, it's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Down this road that never seems to end. When new adventure lies just around the bend. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, the whole world is my home. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. There's a world that's waiting to unfold. A brand new tale no one has ever told. We've journeyed far, but you know it won't be long. We're almost there and we've paid our fare with a hobo song. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep
There we go.
on.
There we go.
So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat,
Come travel like that. old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll find what I call home.
Until tomorrow, you know I'm free to roll.
But, oh no, my hard drive with all my music is in my car. That's absolutely fine.
Do you want me to get it?
No, I do not, because my car is full of crap right now. Because you know why? My wife has been using the car because hers is knackered, and suddenly it's full of crap. Like, there's kids' socks in there. What the hell are there kids' socks in my car?
Yeah, that's right. Blame the kids.
This must stop. This must stop. I could probably do a good Churchill. This must stop. We'll fight him on the beaches. That's not bad. I don't know what Churchill sounded like.
Well, a bit like Churchill the dog by your account.
Oh yes. Are there? Churchill was around before recordings were invented, wasn't he?
No.
Is there a recording of Churchill?
There are. There's quite a famous recording of Churchill.
No, I think that's an actor.
No, it's not.
I think that's Robert Hardy, who died today. Didn't he play Churchill?
I think he did.
We will fight them on the beaches, and we will peace in our time.
There we go. I could be Churchill if I needed to. Got the stomach. Hey, who said that? Shut your face. Good evening, dear listener. This is the Late Night Alternative with me, Iain Lee, on Talk Radio. What a flipping day. Lovely Matt Haig. I've just tweeted the link to the book, How to Stop Time. Thoroughly recommend it. It's a joy. Catherine's name is in it.
Yeah.
Which is not such a joy, but it's a little bit...
The back page is, I mean, he's worked very hard on all of it, but the back page is his moment of triumph, my moment of triumph.
I'm going to go around to all the bookshops in the country and just cross it out. Is the telephone... What have I written down here? Oh! This is what I've written down here. I found out today that you're a B1TCH and a terrible PAR3NT.
Why?
Because you were telling me...
Yeah.
That your kids' favourite toys.
Yeah.
You've got 2 of them.
Well, at least.
So, like a teddy, their favourite teddy, you've got at least 2, maybe even 3.
There's 2 mousies, and there were 3 daisies at one point. I lost. I mean, and fortunately there were 3 because now there's only 1 left because the other 2 have been lost.
So what? So what? You just have a stash of them in a drawer.
When they were little babies, you know, there's always a toy that the baby likes more than the others.
Yeah.
Or gets given more than the others to start with. Anyway, ends up liking them and being a little bit dependent on.
Yes.
Well, in my eldest's case, it was a little rabbit from Next, I think, and it was only about. I think it was probably about £8 or something. So when I realised that she was getting attached to this thing, I bought 2 more, right?
Yes.
The reason being, babies are disgusting. And they spit on stuff and throw up on it and drop it off the side of the pram. And sometimes when the mum's just had a baby, she gets drunker than she thought she would.
If my baby did that...
Off with his head!
That's what would happen.
On the way home from my friend's house after my first outing, and she said, why don't we have a couple of Prosecco's? And I came home and I don't know quite how... I couldn't walk in a straight line anyway. And when I came back, the first daisy was lost.
Prove it.
Well, I can't prove it. It's gone.
Prove it.
I can't.
Okay.
Anyway, there were 2 more, right? So there's normally one for the wash or in case of emergency, one on the subs bench.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's quite common practice actually to have a couple.
I mean, the closest I've come to doing that is when Benji 1 died.
An actual rabbit.
Possibly, and I've never confessed this on the radio. Possibly we didn't feed him enough. I think there is a strong possibility that I misread the instructions and was not feeding Benji enough of what I like to call food.
Oh.
And I may have, and this is why I struggle to go to sleep at night. I may have starved a rabbit to death.
Although...
Yep. No, don't. I know where you're going. Don't say that. I think that's what happened. I think I starved a rabbit to death.
Well, you don't know what he was like before. You don't know whether he might have come to you poorly, is what I was
The second one, no, I think I took him into the vet. The vet said, this is the thinnest rabbit I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, gosh.
But the second rabbit, that was natural. That was a natural death. That just died. And I'm glad it died because rabbits are really rubbish pets.
They're boring.
Just so boring and so dull and bitey and just awful pets.
My friend had rabbits that used to growl.
Growlers? Your friend had growlers?
Yeah. They used to run around the garden and that when she let them out, and then when you went to catch them,
George, you're a fanny.
Oh, some fanny somewhere. Lovely growlers in the back garden.
Oh, Iain, you one of those moves tonight, are you?
I do.
0344499 1,000.
I blame Matt Haig for this, bringing up dick pics.
Find me on boys.
Sorry?
Hey, Ian. What's all this wild man nonsense?
Get stuffed, you! Unbelievable.
Bonfire night.
Okay. 0344.
Did you say bonfire night?
Let's just have a listen.
Bonfire night.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. 0344.
That's tickled me.
So, 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give me a call, you're more than welcome to. Every now and then, a rude word pops up on Countdown. Todgers, erection, arse. There's been wankers, hasn't there? Or is that a joke? Is that a fake one?
I'm not sure.
Let's hang on a second. Let's go to YouTube. I don't know if that was fake.
I suspect Countdown are doing these as a stitch-up.
What?
For publicity reasons.
No, they can't. They can't do it as a stitch-up.
I think these are the Countdown version of when a celebrity's boob pops out.
Hang on a second.
Also known as a nip slip.
Hang on a second. Let's have a look at this. I'm seeing two different ones here. Let's try this. Let's try this one.
Dave Dyer, our returning champion, on 69 at the moment. Tom Archer, yet to get off the mark.
69?
It's a heck of a lot easier
69-0.
sitting at home than it is where Tom is right at this moment.
All right, mate.
He's got a full part to see if he can break his duck.
Oh.
Here's our next letters round. Dave, it's you to pick.
Consonant, please.
Let's write this down.
Thank you, Dave. W.
W.
And another.
J.
And a third.
K.
K.
Yep. Vowel, please.
A.
A.
And another vowel.
E.
Okay.
And another vowel.
A.
A. Yep.
Consonants.
Y.
Well, because I want
another consonant.
Joke.
R.
R.
And a final consonant.
And a final, good, N.
It's an N. Okay. Well, it's still.
And here's the countdown.
No, are they going to say it?
Tom, how many?
6.
And Dave?
I've got a 6.
Okay, what's yours, Dave?
Oh, grow up. We all do it.
Tom?
I went for awaken.
Okay. Here's another one. The letters on the screen. S-R-K-D-U-A-E-W-N.
Now then, Gino. 7. 7 again. And Lawrence?
7.
7. Let's say Lawrence is 7, please.
Not sure if I dare say this one. Wankers.
Oh!
Many people, there's no question about it. Wankers. It'd be interesting to see if that's got in the dictionary. Gino?
Yeah, pedo wankers.
Okay.
Apologies to anyone offended by that, but these are just words. Well, there's been another one. Rachel Riley is left blushing after spelling out orgasmed. At least she was just spelling it. On Channel 4's Countdown. She giggled as lexicographer Susie Dent came up with the word, which host Nick Hewer called very satisfactory.
Oh.
Rachel, 31, has orgasmed on the show before and had plenty of other rude words, and we've read some of those words out. We hope you've got a lot of pleasure listening to those rude words. Paul's in Buckinghamshire. Good evening, Paul.
Are you talking about Countdown?
Hang on a second. What the hell is this Buckinghamshire nonsense?
I do live in Buckinghamshire.
Yes, I know, but you're not Paul from Buckinghamshire. You're Paul in Stoke Poges.
Wait, Stoke Poges is in Buckinghamshire.
Yes, I know, but you're using a pseudonym.
I'm using a different mobile phone. Yes.
Right. Okay. Type in Paul in Stoke.
Not for a reason so you don't answer me. I'm not doing it for a tricky reason. Don't worry.
Well, okay, but I just want to know why the hell you are listed on this screen, and thank God it's been changed now, listed as Paul in Buckinghamshire. Do you notice, Cuff, because I never say the location of where people are from, yet for some reason I knew there was something not quite right.
Yeah,
something bent. There was something bent. Why
did
is...
did you say the QPR fan as well?
No. Why, when something is a bit... I've just worked it out. Why, when something is slightly illegal or wrong, we say it's bent, and I've worked it out.
Go on, then.
Well, it's crooked.
Yes.
Yeah. Am I right?
Well done.
You didn't know that until I said that.
Gosh, you're making all kinds of assumptions tonight.
What am I thinking?
I'm not bent or crooked.
Sorry, I'm not talking to you, Paul. What am I thinking right now? Okay. Paul, yes, Paul, what have you got for us?
You were talking about Countdown. They've cancelled Brexit.
Yes.
This is correct
Okay, well, you know the Countdown programme that annoying Jimmy Carr does? I get him confused with Alan Carr or Jimmy. Is it Jimmy Carr?
Why, when Paul phones up, do I want to jump in front of a tram?
Because there's questions.
Just stop asking questions. Just tell us what you want to say.
Because he does a thing on there where he does anagrams for words and gives a clue.
Called Countdown, yes.
Now I remember one. Now, the word is Sean's bum, and the clue for the word that you make out of Sean's bum, the letters from Sean's bum,
yes.
The clue is brightens up your day. What's the word?
Sean's bum.
You have to use all the letters from the phrase Sean's bum.
Well, Sean's bum isn't a phrase, though.
No, okay, it's just... They're saying, Sean's bum, use the letters...
Please stop saying Sean's bum. Kath wants to jump in front of a tram now.
The clue is it brightens up your day. What is the word?
I don't know. What is it?
Sunbeams.
Thanks very much for calling.
Good one.
Guys, 59,000. Now down to 58,500.
For 5 minutes, he'll be back.
03444 991,000. Oh, God, it's Andre next. Flippin' heck.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
Tom, who called in about remember Electricity Thoughts about an hour ago? Tom is listening and following us on Twitter. VJ Hutter, thank you, Tom. Always nice to get new voices. By the way, if you go to my... What's wrong?
It's not there.
What the heck? What do you mean it's not there? What the heck? Did I bring it in with me? No, I didn't bring it in. It's out there. I'm sure I carried it up. I brought it up. It's out there, or maybe it's not. What was I saying before Catherine rudely interrupted me? I don't remember, so we'll just go to Andre. Good evening, Andre.
Hello.
Some people, Andre. Some.
Good evening, Ian and Kath. It's very nice to talk to you in the undergrowth.
All right, David Bellamy.
How you doing?
Some critics of this show, Andre, have accused me of only having callers that are drunk.
What, like me? Because I've been on the side or in the garden.
Oh, so it's true that all my callers are drunk?
Well, no, not exactly.
Oh.
Not exactly, Ian and Kathy. Well, you might have had a flu, because here at the growth, I can't really see much, and because I've had a couple.
Oh.
You know, as you do when you're doing the garden in the shed.
Yes, okay. So basically the accusation is correct that all of my callers are drunk.
No, I don't think that's correct.
It's out the front, in the boot.
I'd like to talk to them.
Okay, well, that's okay.
That's possible.
Talk to whom?
Anyone who says I'm drunk.
Okay, Kyle probably thinks you're drunk, David Bellamy. Kyle, you're through to David Bellamy.
Hello.
Hi, David. How you doing?
Hello. Did you say I was drunk? Hi. What was your name again?
It's Kyle. You do sound like you've got a mouthful of beard.
Kyle, to tell the truth, yeah, I've been down the shed and having a little brandy as I was working on my cuttings.
You having a brandy in the shed?
Pardon?
What?
You were having a brandy in the shed?
Oh, sorry, mate. I know what you said then. You had a brandy and a... Sorry. Nah, not really. I've just been working in the garden.
Yes. Okay. Well, thanks for calling, Dave.
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks for calling. Thank you. There we go. Kyle, I do need to conduct a survey. There have been accusations that all of the callers to this show are drunk. That's certainly one there. Kyle, are you drunk or sober?
I am still just about sober at the minute.
Okay, so we've got one for the drunks and one for the sobers. It's 50-50 so far. Kyle, what have you got for us this evening?
Well, I've got a genuine question, and I don't want you to leap on me and mock me.
Well,
but this is absolutely genuine.
Okay.
To the best of it anyway.
I prefer genuine questions over those fake questions.
Okay, it's not to get a cheap laugh or anything. Right, in the paper today,
yes,
there was mention of an underboob, and I've seen mention of a side boob.
Yep, side boob, yes.
I've no idea what it means.
I do know. Right, I know what a side boob means. I can work out what an underboob means. Right, so a side boob is if I was a lady with a bust, and I was wearing like a top. It didn't have a back to it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it, imagine, so I've got trousers on, and then I've got a top, and it sort of comes up the front, and it ties up around my neck, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But my boobs are so big that if you were to stand to the side of me and look at me, you'd see the curvature you'd actually see boobs sticking out of the side. That's a side boob.
Okay, like a bit of flesh.
Yeah, but it's the actual, you can actually see the curvature of the boob. You can't see the dark side of the boob, but you can see the curvature of the boob, okay? You can see boob. It's not, so I would imagine an underboob is you're wearing a top that's, that covers the top of the breast, but the underside of the lovely, breasticles are, exposed.
Well, no, I've learned that. I did also like the fact you said Dark Side of the Boob, which must be a great covers album, surely.
Thank you very much indeed, Carl. Happy to help with stuff like that, guys. And for all those critics out there that say that my show is only rung into by drunks, well, so far this hour, hey, was it in the choir? What the hell was it doing in the choir? It shouldn't have been in the choir. What the hell? You didn't touch my car, did you? I drove it around the corner. Oh, nuts. We'll do Periscope in a bit if you want to watch on Periscope. I was going to do it earlier on, but Matt needed to plug into my computer, which is great because it means I've got all of his photos and all of his contacts, including Stephen Fry's now. So we're gonna text him and troll him and do that. I got that right about side boobs and under boobs, didn't I?
What bit?
Oh, don't matter. You weren't here. Don't matter.
Are you talking about side boobs and under boobs?
Yeah. It's got very raunchy when you've since you've been gone, boom boom. And just to say, Catherine, the critics that say my show is populated by drunk callers, only one of those two callers was drunk, and that was David Bellamy, of course. So I will not stand for this nonsense. We'll get Periscope up and running in a little.
Anyway, people in public houses should not throw stones.
Punches is the thing. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, you can do. What a lovely afternoon I had. I got to see my good friend Paul Garner, which is always a joy. And then spent an hour with Chaz Hodges from Chaz and Dave, and it was brilliant. And Paul and I met Paul's boy, who I've not seen for years, and suddenly he's a 9-year-old boy with skinny jeans and slick back hair. What the hell happened to you? You were a baby last time. Anyway, so and it was brilliant. And Chaz came in. Tall fella, lost a lot of weight because of the cancer, but his hair's coming back. Big, tall man, and everyone else went right. All right, we'll go and sit in the kitchen, enjoy yourselves, and that was it. And it was me sat on the sofa with Chaz for an hour. I could have done longer, but I thought I should really bring this to an end for an hour, just chatting.
And we can confirm, dear listener, that a knees up did indeed ensue.
Oh God, it did. Let me play you another little bit that he did. He had a banjo with him, 5-string banjo. Let me play you that, because that's a nice little, where is it? Oh, God, the computer's gone to cuck. Here we go. Listen to this. It's only a few. Listen to this. I said, have you got a banjo with you, Chaz? Go on, give us a little tune.
Yeah, what the I'm coming back to you. I'm coming back to you.
Yeah, it was great. That was my afternoon. Hanging out with him, hearing stories about Joe Meek, about kipping on Gene Vincent's floor, about Don Arden, he was in Jerry Lee Lewis's backing band, and he's telling stories about playing with Jerry Lee. And I said, "Do you get to talk to him?" He said, "Oh yeah." He was very approachable then, and he said he liked it because he was getting all this stuff about marrying a 13-year-old and marrying his cousin. He said if anyone came and asked him a musical question, he would talk to you for hours about music. He sat with Jerry Lee and chatted about music and piano playing techniques and stuff like that. Incredible. And another story that we're going to play out Monday and Tuesday. Probably going to split it over 2 shows because it's a great interview and it's a bit over an hour and I don't want to lose any of it. But then afterwards I said, all right, well, thanks for that. I should go. And they went, oh, no, have a cup of tea. And we were having a cup of tea and some biscuits and stuff. And just chatting about Glenn Campbell and about the show and about, that Chaz wants to do a new album and Jonathan Paul about work and stuff. And then he was talking about the Beatles. Paul was going, tell him that story about Paul McCartney playing You Yellow Submarine. He was like, yeah. So we're with I'm there in the room with Brian Epstein and John Lennon and Paul McCartney, and they've got this acetate of their new album, and they put it on. And they're playing it, and then it gets to Yellow Submarine. And Paul McCartney's standing 2 feet away from me, and he's looking at me, just staring at me while this bloody Yellow Submarine's playing. And I don't know whether I'm supposed to nod as though this is the greatest thing ever, or start laughing. So then I start staring at Paul McCartney, and we're just staring at each other while Yellow Submarine is playing. What an amazing story! He was staring at Paul McCartney while an acetate of Yellow Submarine was playing because he didn't know if it was a joke or not. We didn't know if he was being stitched up.
And presumably Macca's trying to work out how it's going to go down.
Yeah. And he just, I was just staring at him because I didn't know if I was supposed to laugh at it or not. It was brilliant. Honestly, it's such a lovely, lovely interview, and I really think you're going to enjoy it. We talked about Lonnie Donegan and the Beatles, and it was just wonderful, absolutely wonderful, and what a thrill! We're so lucky in this job, Catherine, that we get to speak to these people. I mean, like you say, people think, Chaz and Dave, a little bit rubbish. No, not at all. The people, it was Eric Clapton's wedding, the people that he's met, even if you don't like the music, which I do, I think at their best, there were moments in their career when the songs they wrote are easily as good as Ray Davies's best songs in terms of summing up what it meant to be English at that particular time. I really believe that, so even if you don't like their music, which is fine, just the people that he's worked with, the history that he's touched is amazing.
But also,
amazing.
They're brilliant musicians. Even if you don't like the music, you've got to appreciate the skill involved.
Well, they were session musicians. They rocked up and they played, and they know. It's like, you'll hear me jamming along with him a bit. I play a Beatles song on the ukulele, and he picked it up straight away. Of course he could, because he's used to walking into a studio. What you playing? Right, we'll have some of that. And getting straight into it. And it is just a joy. And what a thrill, doing this job and getting to talk to these people and getting to, and not just, spend 10 minutes with them. Sometimes you get 10 minutes with them and even that's a thrill. But getting to sit for an hour in a room with Chaz where there's a piano, a uke. He comes in and he saw my uke. He says, let's have a look at that. And he's tuning it up. He's going, this has got a nice sound to it. And he's playing it. He made that sound better than it's ever sounded in the 5-6 years that I've owned it, and it was just a joy. And I was just thinking as well back to that Narina Palo interview. And Stephen Page sat where you're sat while we sat here. Just what a thrill that some of our favourite people have done private concerts for us. We got to sit in a cupboard and watch the Bare Naked Ladies recording a TV session. We thought there'd be an audience there. We were the audience, stood in a cupboard.
That's about the point at which I think my life started to get a bit surreal.
It's so much fun, and I hope, and the numbers yesterday and from the tweets that we've had today, I know that fun is coming across, and that's what we want to do. That's why we're calling the show the Late Night Alternative, because if you want all the depressive, and the depressive stuff, we talk about depression and mental health, and that is not verboten at all. If people want to phone in and say, I'm struggling, I want to kill myself, we'll take those calls. And if I feel like that, I'll talk about it. But, I mean the kind of depressive stuff in the worldview, in terms of Trump, in terms of Brexit, in terms of, acid attacks, in terms of all kinds of things. There's everywhere else you can go and find that. You flick through your dial now, if that's what you want. If somewhere, some old dinosaur is going to be doing a phone in because there's all this publicity about the England's women's football team. Someone somewhere will be doing a phone in. Oh, it's not proper sport. Oh, it's not real. It's PC agenda being rammed down.
And you can bet it'll be some fella who's not kicked a ball for some time and would probably end up getting run ragged on.
If you wanna do that, I tell you what was really nice when Bill Oddie came in. There was a women's team on. I don't know about sport, but he came in and said,
it was the Lionesses, wasn't it?
It was, I think. And he came in and said, "Do you anyone know what the result was?" And I took him over and introduced him to Jason Cundy. I said, "He'll know." And he was, and I thought it was a really interesting thing that he came in and was expressing an interest about that. And there's all these old farts out there. Well, I think it's rubbish and it's PC gone. No, get stuffed. I don't.
The thing is, right? It's really early days for that sport, and it's still growing. But they are way fit. You know, they're athletes.
Yeah, of course they are. I mean, I don't like football played by men or women, but I hate both of them equally.
Exactly.
There's no discrimination from me in that. I hate both of them.
But I recognise that all these people are prime specimens, and I would not dare sit on the side, sit on a flipping sofa telling them that they're not proper athletes.
You wouldn't challenge them to a kick around, would you? Dom, stay there. We'll come to you in a minute. We're carrying on the survey. Are all of our callers drunk? I don't think all of them are. I would say about 75% of them are. And I would say the other 15%
still working on it, yeah.
Yeah, high on drugs. 0344 499 1000. This is the Late Night Alternative on Talk Radio.
Unmissable late night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation. Make contact with Iain Lee. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000. Let's go to Dom. Good evening, Dom.
Evening, boss.
Drunk or sober?
I am off my tits on cake.
Oh, kids, oh God.
Me.
All right, so we've got drunk, sober or high. The accusation was my callers were drunk, sober, or high. It's one each so far. What have you got for us, Dom?
That's represent. I'm looking forward to that chat, and it's going to be a...
Oh, mate, it's such a good... I mean, the stories that poured out of this man, and he's such a nice man, such a lovely bloke, so it's going to be great. Monday, I think we're going to do it over 2 nights, Monday and Tuesday, probably around about 10:30, 11, something like that. I think might be a good time to play those out.
Oh, fantastic. It reminded me of this podcast idea I had, which...
Yes.
Obviously couldn't do because I'm not famous, but I remember watching this video of Dennis Leary, the actor.
Yes.
Telling the truth about all his old films and the people he worked with, and I just thought, a podcast of someone of your own sort of ilk,
yes,
interviewing Chaz and getting not the gossip, but the true stories about the past. I think it'd be really fascinating.
What do you mean by the true stories about the past?
Well, not to start bad-mouthing people.
That's what you want. You want bad-mouthing.
No, I want the Beatles playing at a wedding that no one's heard of. You know, it's Eric Clapton's wedding, but only a number of people saw it.
Yeah.
Beatles reunited.
Well, hang on, well, actually, that story didn't come out in the interview. That came out afterwards. But that's what this show is. We get the stories that other broadcasters can't even imagine, or something like that.
That was good, though.
Yeah, Bill Oddie, Tony Robinson, all these people have got fascinating stories that they think, I won't bother putting in a book. Or I remember you interviewing someone who works on, I can't remember now, but he worked in the studio and it was like, I produced that album and such a person did this. And it's like, well, why do you write a book about it? Well, who'd want to read it?
I'm trying to find...
what's his name?
I'm trying to...
I know who you mean. Lou Adler, wasn't it?
That's the one.
Yes, Lou Adler. Yes.
Just not nasty, it's just...
You want the dirt?
The good, clean dirt. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't make sense. Dirt is dirty. Dirt is dirty. Here's the best rock biography, right, in terms of dishing the dirt, is a book written by Lindsay Buckingham's girlfriend during the making of Rumours and Tusk, right? What's her name? Carol Ann Davis. Harris.
And
we approached her and she's...
she accepted my Facebook request, but she's not got back. It's called Storms, My Life with Lindsay Buckingham and Fleetwood Mac.
He talks about him getting coked up, him slapping... Stevie Nicks around him. He tells a story of him trying to strangle Stevie Nicks or something.
It was, you know, a woman who found herself kind of in the middle of this the way she portrays it, and I think probably the way they've portrayed it over the years, this most dysfunctional family where they all absolutely adore each other, but at times, you know, could literally strangle each other. And she also tells, do you remember that story where she's sitting in the room and he goes off for ages to supposedly talk to Stevie, and, you know, you're reading it thinking, he's not talking to her. And she's sitting there waiting, watching the clock. It's an incredible book. I don't know how much of it is, you know, her embroidery, but it's certainly a page turner.
I'm just sorry, I'm gone quiet because I'm just now Googling Eric Clapton's wedding with the Beatles, right? And it happened, and I've heard this story before, but not with Chaz's name in it. So to know that he was there is incredible. Here we go, listen to this. So 1979, a select group of partygoers witnessed the closest thing to a live Beatles reunion when Paul McCartney, George Harrison and Ringo Starr reunited to jam at Eric Clapton's wedding reception at his English estate. Clapton had married Harrison's ex-wife Pattie Boyd and set up an outdoor stage for a massive jam session, which featured the three ex-Beatles, a reformed Cream, the Rolling Stones Mick Jagger and Bill Wyman, Elton John, David Bowie, and many more. Now, Chaz's name isn't mentioned, but this is where he was playing. Although the three former Fabs also... this time marks the only time that the former Beatles made music on stage in a somewhat professional manner. Among the many songs reported to have been performed that day were the Beatles' 1967 classic Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And Chaz was there playing with them. Flippin' heck! Sweet Lord!
Can't wait for his bike to be done.
Dom, I'm going to cut you off now.
Oh, yes.
There we go. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. There's a story about an acrobat being a bad next-door neighbour, so they've invented a word, agrobat.
Oh.
That's the kind of thing we'd do, but I certainly wouldn't put it in a newspaper. Agrobat. An amateur acrobat, the worst kind of acrobats, I find. I tell you what I hate is in the summertime, and I'm so glad summer is over and it's autumn and nearly winter, is when you go into the park and there are people learning to tightrope walk by suspending a bit of rope between two trees. Have you seen that?
Yes.
And also, it's not very high. If you're going to do it, you need the element of danger. Otherwise, it's not worth
straight
doing.
Away. What do you want? Spikes? Tigers?
Well, sure, why not? Otherwise, if there's no danger, you can't learn to do it. You need the fear to learn. That's why my school was closed down. Unfortunately, it's a controversial technique. An amateur acrobat has angered neighbours with plans to build a 33-foot high trapeze rig in his garden. Oh, I'd love that.
Can you imagine?
I would love that. I'd chuck that. Or as he's about to do a somersault, go, "Oi, mate!" What? Falls and breaks his neck. Iain Chadera's £15,000 aluminium frame. Is aluminium the same as aluminum?
Well, one's correct and one is wrong.
Okay. Would be 67 feet long and 20 feet wide with platforms either end. And here we go, libtard, cuck, snowflake with a safety net. A home rig would be a UK first. A fair play. And Iain, 55, wants to start a trapeze club.
What happens at trapeze club stays at trapeze club.
Where are you going? I'm off to Trapeze Club. Ian's... No. Roger's started one now. It's much better.
How was Trapeze Club today? Oh, up and down.
Yay! Hey! Come on, mate. Come on. And perform shows. The IT worker... Try and find this fella, Chadera. It's Iain spelt incorrectly, and Chadera, Chodera, in Ebley in Gloucestershire. The IT worker says it is no more disruptive than barbecues or trampolines.
Oh, it looks like he might have been on Ninja Warrior UK.
Oh, yeah. But one family said people at barbecues arguably don't shout instructions across 20 metres for several hours every week.
They won't be shouting instructions. I've heard trapeze artists, all they say is hop, 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 hop.
Shrewd District Council will consider the plans. Let's find this guy. Let's get him on the show and let's make it happen. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. This is the Late Night Alternative with me, Iain Lee, her Catherine Boyle, only on Talk Radio.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
I found someone's in the men's toilets. I found someone's cannabis stash. It's not it wasn't because I checked, but yeah.
Gosh.
Drugs on Talk Radio's premises.
There must have been a guest.
Must have. Well, no, not Matt. It was before Matt came.
Right.
I found it and came in. I thought it belonged to what's his face, but it wasn't his.
Gosh.
Anyway, it's gone now. I'm really
Been
hungry.
handed into the police.
That's it. Yeah. Oh, yes. It's it's funny, isn't it? The amount of times when we're out in the street now, you can smell people smoking weed.
Walking down the street doing it.
Yeah, it's the weirdest. Listen, I used to smoke weed a long time ago, and I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. It was fun for a bit, and then it wasn't fun for a long time. And occasionally smoked it out on the street, very occasionally, but it was constantly, so it was blowing downwind, and it was, you make sure there was no one really around. It was a really rare thing, and it was a terrifying thing, and I hated it. But it's all the time now. You just walk about, and also you can smell it when people have got it in their pockets now.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
When I was driving home yesterday, there was a guy driving very close to me.
Yes.
And I was looking in my rearview mirror, and I'm sure he had a doobie on the go.
Yeah. Oh, well, he's driving.
By the way he was lighting it, it sort of was blazing up at the end. I was thinking, flipping it.
I'm not fussed either way about
I don't want him
drugs.
driving near me.
No, I don't want to. And part of me does think, if you want to do that thing, do that thing. It didn't work out for me in the end, but if you want to do that, do that. But not when you're walking down the street, So I've smelled it a couple of times at a kiddie's playground as well.
Wow.
I'm sure that, in fact, there was one of the playgrounds near us, there was someone having a little toke, and I got very close to going up to them saying that is out of order. You should, listen. If you want to do that, it's fine. Don't do it by a kiddie's playground. But then they went, so I didn't. But I was going to.
But I don't really like people smoking normal cigarettes near kids, to be honest.
No, I don't. I find that a little bit weird at the playground. Yeah, I find that a little bit weird.
But I also know what it's like to smoke, and you kind of forget, don't you? You just do your thing, and you think because it's outdoors, it'll all disperse. But it does have a smell.
Well, don't worry, guys, because we all know that vaping is so much better for you and can't hurt anybody else. There's a story on page 29 of the Daily Mail, how passive vaping could be damaging your health. What the hell? Sorry? I love the drip, drip, drip of the vaping stories coming out, because I've always said from day one, we don't know how bad vaping is for you. You don't know. Remember when smoking first came out and it was sold as being good for your lungs?
Mm-hmm. Used to give it to soldiers.
Yeah. And doctors were kind of bribed to prescribe people to smoke fags because it would clear your lungs out. And it took a long, long time before people went, I wonder if this smoking and stuff, I wonder if this is actually bad for you. Long, long time. And there are people now, is it ash that are for smoking or is it forest? I'm always confused. It'd be ash, wouldn't it? And who dispute the passive smoking science that is out there. They will dispute the fact that passive smoking has any ill effect on people.
Ash is against.
Ash is against. So forest is for. Thank you. Sorry, Ash. It's Ash is against. Forest is for.
Action on smoking in health.
Thank you very much. My apologies. Of course, you're absolutely correct. And they Forest dispute the science on passive smoking. There's no actual evidence that passive smoking is bad. Well, yeah, there is. There's even if there's no empirical evidence. It's obvious. Well, and so everyone, I fell out with a lot of vapors, and maybe I was a bit harsh on them, but I seem to get attacked by lots of vapors that would seem were sponsored by vaping companies, because I dare to say, well, we don't know how safe or how dangerous vaping is. We simply don't know because it's so new, and the tests haven't been done. And drip, drip. There's all these little stories. Every 3 months, 6 months, a story will come out, which seems to chip away at the argument that lots of people have that vaping is not bad for you. So some people believe that vaping is not bad for you. Some people say that vaping is like it does 5% of the damage that smoking does. We don't know any of this yet. We don't know. And I could be proved completely wrong. It could be vaping might be good for you. We don't know.
What we know it does do is keep you addicted.
Yeah.
So it'll probably keep you alive, maybe keep you alive longer, and you can keep filling the wrong pockets.
People say, what would you rather your kids did? I'd rather they did nothing. But if they were going to do, I'd rather they did nothing. Well, would you mind if they vape? Well, yeah, because it's an addiction. It's still an addiction, and seeing people vaping in restaurants and outside shops and stuff, it normalises paying people to feed an addiction. That's what it normalises. Anyway, e-cigarettes emit toxic vapours which break safety guidelines when used indoors, research suggests. Non-vaping customers in pubs can be exposed to unhealthy levels of formaldehyde, which causes cancer, and acrolein, a toxin which irritates the eyes and skin. That's interesting, because that's not what people have been saying to me. That is the finding of a study based on as few as 3 people an hour using the devices in a bar. The dangers of passive smoking led to the 2007 smoking ban, which I think is wrong. I think places should be able to make the decision. I think there should be pubs in restaurants that you can smoke in if you want to. If the staff are happy to work there, I think there should be. I think people should be able to have that choice. I would choose not to go to those places, but I think that choice should be there. You're pulling a face to say you disagree.
I think that the fact that there are places where you can't smoke has helped a lot of people give up.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of places,
yeah,
going to the pub and having a drink, if you were trying to stop smoking and there's people smoking around you, it made it very difficult. I also think that there are some places where, if you are at the point where you are working behind a bar, you might not be able to afford to be choosy about where you work. Do you know what I mean? And so maybe you're penalising people for having low-paid jobs.
Well, that's their problem.
Well,
deal with it.
Yeah.
There is there is no similar law for vaping banning, although some pub chains, including JD Wetherspoon, have voluntarily banned electronic cigarettes. Last year, the WHO, the World Health Organization, one day, please let it be Roger Daltrey, called on Britain to consider a total ban in public spaces due to the risk from second-hand vapour. Researchers led by Berkeley University in California found toxic chemicals released into bars exceeded their state's guideline safety levels. And then there's that paragraph at the end, which we got into trouble for saying this because people phoned up and disputed it.
Go on.
Before the 2007 smoking ban, passive smoking had been a serious problem. One famous victim was Roy Castle, a non-smoker who died of lung cancer after years playing the trumpet in smoke-filled pubs. Remember we said that on the 3 Counties, and then someone phoned in and said, no, he smoked cigars. And I can't remember if I researched that or not, but a lot of people said, so I don't know if that's an urban myth, that he smoked cigars. Or not. Fake news, guys. What is fake news?
Well, I thought that the whole...
Come on.
I thought that his wife had
Yes.
been really active on the passive smoking thing because she was convinced that it was working in the clubs that had done it. And you would think that if he had been an avid smoker of cigars to the level suggested by some people...
Well, you don't know. Google, we're going to lift, like China, we are going to temporarily lift the Google ban in the studio. Google Roy Castle cigars.
All right.
Let's see what comes up, guys. We're going to get the evidence on this. By the way, 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want.
I'm trying to find it.
Come on.
I'm just trying to find it from someone who's not just going... I can produce 2 witnesses, both musicians who saw him smoking cigars.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah,
and then there's another one saying it appears from the exchange that they cannot confirm Roy Castle was a cigar smoker because it's all people doing their own things. Oh, hang on a minute. Here we go. This is from the BBC. Anger over passive smoking claims. Leading cancer experts and campaigners have accused the tobacco industry of distorting health figures to claim passive smoking does not cause the disease. The widow of TV presenter Roy Castle, who died of lung cancer, told the BBC she was surprised and confused by conclusions drawn by the industry from a World Health Organisation study. Any mention of...
Well, while you're looking for that, I'm going to talk about the Big Brother house being
Her husband
haunted.
believed his cancer was caused from inhaling cigarette smoke during a career spent
Does it
performing in
say
smoky clubs.
whether he smoked cigars or not?
No.
There we go. That's proof. Huh? Big Brother house is haunted by Jade and David, says professional bullshitter Derek Okura. The ghosts of Jade Goody, it really is the worst lineup of celebrity Big Brother ever. It's not just sour grapes because I used to work on the show and they don't ask me anymore. There's a little bit of sour grapes. There's not sour grapes. There's puzzlement as to why they don't even ask me on as a guest. But it is a really, really poor lineup. It is, but they had to do it like a talent show.
Yeah.
So a couple of Sarah Harding and another girl sang. The Paul Danan and the Barry thing was quite funny. They had to do a little bit of soap acting. It was a bit embarrassing, but it was funny. Derek Okura did this weird thing, right, where he got Karthik. Mummy, I feel Karthik. To sit down at a table, and he said, right, we're going to put tuppence on here, and I'm going to draw a circle around it, and a spirit is going to make it move. And then what he did, and you watch it, he did this. He put down a clipboard on there, said, right, I'm going to get to draw something. And he pushed the clipboard to Karthik. So, and then later on he went, oh, look, the money's moved. Yeah, because you pushed it. We saw it. And then he got...
Karthik got entered, didn't he?
Karthik got entered, Derek Okura was behind him, and then Karthik was entered. And he drew a picture, and it was all... He said, and he went, oh, look, you've drawn a head, and it's someone's birthday. It's someone's birthday in the house, isn't it? The 8th month. And they went, yeah, it's that young lad.
We gave him a cake.
We just sang happy birthday to him. Oh, I don't remember that.
But then you missed the other talents because you went over and I was thinking, please, Matt Haig, don't come up now because we're trying to make out that we're clever and now we read books. Yeah. Right, so 2 of the lads had to demonstrate their seduction skills, which involved them dry humping the other girls, a couple of the girls. And then you saw the other one.
2 girls stripped down to their pants, and their talent was, one of them was blindfolded, and the other one put bits of food, like Marmite, on her tits and stuff, and then put it in the other girl's mouth, and the other girl had to work out what the food stuff was and what part of the body it was.
Talent.
That's a talent, is it? You were flipping heck. That's a talent. She put cream on her tongue, and the other girl put her tongue out, and then she French kissed her, and went, oh, it's cream, and, oh, is it your tongue? Oh, everyone's going, yeah, and they're there in their pants. What is going on? Even by Big Brother's crappy standards, that was spectacularly pony.
Next stop, snogging a grandma and drinking sick. Oh, that was done, wasn't it?
Paul Ross. Paul Ross was producing the word.
I know, but that was about people who were so rubbish and they were desperate to be on telly. Now there's people who are famous for doing stuff like that.
But I'd love to talk to Paul Ross about working on the word and working on the telly and being a producer of those kind of shows in the 90s. What fun that must have been when you could walk in to a production studio on a Friday morning and say, right, we're going to get someone to eat sick tonight, and that night it's going out on the telly. What fun! What fun he must have had. Dear listener, another hour of this. We're conducting a survey. Critics have said all of my callers are drunk. I don't think all of them. So far, a third are drunk, a third are sober, and a third are high. Which are you? 0344 499 1000, the late night alternative with me, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Talk Radio.
Hey, listener, I've just remembered to set up Periscope so you can watch the show on the last hour. Periscope.tv/Iain Lee. Hello, Periscopers. 0344 499 1000, the late night alternative with me, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Here's a message from the Haters Club, dedicated to the one I love. I've been cursed by your wicked kiss. Once felt it's forever missed, forever missed. I'm a member of the Haters Club, and I'm hating
there we go. No, hello, there we go. Thank you very much indeed, Marnie Coppola. 03444991000, the late night alternative on Talk Radio. My name is Iain Lee. That's Catherine Boyle. Sam is there. Monday show, the first hour of Monday show, and I don't understand. Do you get what I'm doing on the first hour of Monday show, the musical thing?
Yeah.
Can you explain it? Because I'm still getting tweets and emails from people who don't understand it. So maybe I'm explaining it wrong. So you explain what you think I want people to do, please, on Monday for the first hour.
On Monday, if you want to talk to us, you gotta do this.
She's got it right. If you're calling in, you gotta do a thing. That thing is sing. If you're calling in, you've gotta sing your call.
The only spoken bits I will allow go like this. Well, Ian, it's like this.
I was getting in my car just the other day when a man came up to me and said, I think you're gay. I said, stop there, man. What you talking about? I ain't never put a dick in my mouth. That kind of
Wow.
stuff. So rapping is okay.
Rapping is okay, and we will allow you a short run-up, like they do in musicals.
Okay, so you understand. So you understand the concept. I've explained it well enough.
Of course I do, because I live with two under 10-year-olds, and basically our life is a musical.
Okay, so why am I still getting emails and tweets from people saying, can I send you my music? Right.
Because of the words radio and you saying...
But then intelligent
Sing.
people, I think it was Dom who called in earlier, said, I'd like to sing, on Monday, I'd like to sing I've Just Seen a Face by the Beatles. It's not radioke. Radioke.
That's Wednesday.
Radioke. It's not radioke. It's a musical, so it's got to have a theme and a story, and it's your cause. You call in about anything. We'll go through the papers, but I'll go with The Big Brother house is haunted by Jade and David Guest. It's that kind of, that's what we're doing.
Exactly.
For an hour. And it's going to be awful, and it's going to be cringeworthy, and it's going to be embarrassing, and there might be some really powerful moments in it of pathos and emotion, and it will be stupid, and that's what we're going to do. So that's it. I cannot.
Don't overthink this.
Guys, maybe the critics are right. Maybe they are all drunk.
When I went into my daughter's bedroom the other day, I caught her singing to herself.
Yeah.
And she sings her emotions. You know, she was singing, you have to not laugh because it's serious.
No, of course it's serious, proper,
like,
yeah.
I'm all alone, no friends are here. And that's, she's singing what was in her mind.
Yeah. That is Monday evening, 10 till 11. It's just the first hour.
The best example is, what Bill does every time.
Yes. If you're listening, and if you can put down that skinning up equipment, give us a call.
demo.
Give us a call and phone in. If anybody wants to demonstrate what will be happening on Monday, 03444991000 is the telephone number. The first hour of the show on Monday will be a musical. Okay, that's it. But it's not like, can I sing Stairway to Heaven, please? Can I sing Stairway to Heaven? Oh, there's it then. Okay. Sunday, September the 3rd?
Yeah.
3 p.m, Speaker's Corner, Hyde Park, Tag. Oh, look, I look fat now at that angle. Look at that. That's that, and that's better. Tag it is happening for an hour or so, 3 p.m. on the 3rd of September. And I've now sold 5 tickets. That's 5 tickets for my performance art piece on Saturday, the 23rd of September, at the Big Green Bookshop in Wood Green.
Oh, is it there?
Yeah.
I like them there.
Oh yeah, no, it'd be nice because we've had them on, haven't we? And I like the vibe, and they offered me the run of their shop, so it's happening there. So that'll be lovely. It's a bookshop, so buy books as well.
Yeah.
But it's going to be an interesting piece where we explore storytelling, our relationship with radio, and the darkness. And it starts, it's 8 o'clock, and it'll be about an hour long. And you bring a cushion. or a pillow or a rolled-up jumper, and you're going to lie on the floor. You can stand if you want, but the lights, it will be a dark room. The lights will be off and it will be dark. The only illumination will come from the wireless that I will be tuning and detuning and flicking through the dial and seeing what we get. And we'll linger on some bits and we will move on just as it's about to get interesting. We'll listen to static for a little bit and see where that takes us. There'll be no speaking from me. Oh, no. You guys, if you feel the need to, if you feel moved to make a noise during the performance, you're very welcome to, but I'm going to be absolutely silent. If you want tickets for that, ticketsource.co.uk/Iain-Lee, and I will tweet that link out a little bit later on. But apparently Derek Acorah's got to earn his money somehow, so he's pretending the Big Brother house is haunted by Jade and David, because that's what they do. That's where they'd go, isn't it?
Yeah, they would go and hang out with their families.
No, they would go to the Big Brother house.
The house where Jade had so many happy memories. Oh, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
No, she didn't.
Oh, no, hang on. The ghosts of Jade Goody and David Guest have been summoned to the diary room.
No.
No, they haven't, but that's what they should have said. Have been summoned to the diary room. No, have been summoned to the celebrity Big Brother house by TV bullshiner Derek Acorah. A mist and orbs were spotted. Well, that's Jade. Let's go to page 4 and 5 to get more. I met Jade Goody. We had an argument once. Celebrity Big Brother psychic. Has attracted the ghosts of dead housemates Jade Goody and David Guest. Shortly after the medium's arrival into the house, strange orbs and an unexplained mist were spotted floating around him. Gosh, this is amazing. It has led to speculation, by whom, that the spirits of ex-CBB stars Jade and David are trying to get in touch with him.
CBBS?
CBB.
Oh, CBB.
CBB. Sorry, CBB. BB and CBBS. That's what it says. BB and CBB's most famous contestant and former dental nurse, Jade, died of cancer back in 2009.
Yeah.
And eccentric US music producer and Michael Jackson's pal Guest died last year from a stroke 3 months after appearing on CBB. Clairvoyant Acorah told TV host Emma Willis he would take his spirit guide Sam into the house. Hang on a second. It's almost like this entire story is made up. No one's actually said... So...
Acorah's not even said it.
No, it's led to speculation that the spirits of these people are trying to get in touch with him.
Speculation in that paper, specifically.
Sam, the Ethiopian ghost, is the one he says connects him with the dead. And I know, I think Acorah has been to court, so boy oh boy, he knows his stuff, but really, guys, 2017? Really? Acorah even admitted, I think the Big Brother house is haunted. Now it seems his predictions have come true after just a few hours in the house. Fans spotted the weird mist near him on launch night on Tuesday as he chatted with co-stars Sandy Bogle from Boglebox and former EastEnder Sean Williamson. Unfortunately, there are no pictures of this phantom mist anywhere in this newspaper.
Did you ever watch Most Haunted?
No.
Oh, God. Right. Twitter. When Twitter and Most Haunted met, it was a marriage made in heaven, right?
Really?
I used to watch it when I was younger and still kind of believed a little bit in it.
Yeah.
And I was spooked for the first series or so.
Yeah.
And then you realise there are certain tropes that keep recurring.
Yeah.
Like one particular person always has a spoon thrown at him and all this stuff happens. And people started to get really jaded about it, and me included. The last Most Haunted live I saw was when Twitter was in full swing. And if you looked at the hashtag of Most Haunted, it was hilarious, right?
Yeah.
It was all there were certain... Apparently there was this clock that they kept talking about, oh, the clock's never worked, not since such and such a person died, and it's at the top of the stairs. And immediately the clock had its own Twitter feed saying, 5 minutes till I throw myself down the stairs, everyone. And it was all this stuff going on, and it was just hilarious. It was people taking the mickey, and it was just delicious.
It is the
But
most.
it's a silly programme.
I tell you what we're going to do. Well, this is what we're going to do. We are going to we're going to find a proper haunted house that we can camp in overnight, and we'll do it. This will be my project tomorrow. I'm filming Sam's thing tomorrow. It's not Sam doing it. It's his programme on Russia Today. It's that Widdicombe. Widdicombe's hosting.
Oh, is it?
And we've been told no swearing. No swearing allowed in front of Widdy. Bollocks to that. 0344 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000. Fans spotted the weird-looking mist near Akora on launch night on Tuesday as he chatted with co-stars Sandy Bogle from Bogle Box and former EastEnder Sean Williamson. It then moved and hovered around former hooker Trisha Paytas.
Who saw it? Fans.
Fans.
But no one took a picture.
Twitter went into meltdown.
Right, so it's...
over this. This is the front page
It's
story.
the most haunted lot.
Twitter went into meltdown over the spooky site and commented, "The house is possessed by the ghost of Jade and the place is haunted by David Guest, a most unwelcome guest."
Do they know that Twitter's not a documentary?
Akura, axed from TV show Most Haunted in 2005 after being branded a fake, is keen to show he is no fraud. He said, "I'm not bitter, you know, but when I did Most Haunted, it was genuine. Now it's all Scooby-Doo.
Oh.
I'm an entertainer. This is the way the spirit world told me to be, to keep people's attention." Last night, he was seen telling Apprentice star Karthik he could not call up ghosts. They had to come to him. But Akura has suffered some famous mishaps during attempts to chat to the dead. He fronted a Sky TV programme in 2009 where he tried to speak with the King of Pop, Michael Jackson.
Yes, I saw it.
Did you see it?
Yes, it was brilliant.
What was it an hour of him trying to talk to?
It was an hour of him, and I think, if I remember in the right programme, it was him and about 3 Michael Jackson superfans in the dark. One Michael Jackson superfan was one who ended up on, like, Britain's Got Talent, and he was terrible.
Yeah.
And, yeah, nothing happened, really. It was all wishful thinking.
It says here, Michael Jackson, the only message he got back from Jackson was, "Will someone say hello to Quincy Jones for me?" It ended up being voted worst TV programme. Now, takes a dark turn here.
Oh, right, okay.
It genuinely does. In 2012, he allegedly claimed to have information from the spirit world that Madeleine McCann was dead, saying, I won't do his voice now. "I know her parents are convinced she's alive, and I'm really sorry, but the little one has been over in the spirit world for some time. I don't think she'll be there long before she reincarnates." Akura claimed to have been misquoted, but he apologised after an outcry. So it's stuff like that is where it takes a very dark...
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun. We're talking to Michael Jackson. It's fun. But when people like that start sticking their nose into missing little girls, that is when it's...
But you don't know whether he stuck his nose in or someone asked him about it. Either way, it's not...
Well, someone says
best,
to me,
is it?
what do you think happened to Millie Dowler or Madeleine McCann? Do you know, I don't know. I'm gonna pass on that. Can we keep this light, please?
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
I know.
For the family, I pray that she's okay, but,
And this is a problem I have with it. And, I've had the experience of going to a medium before, and the people that went before me were from my husband's family, and I obviously am not. That would be illegal. But they kind of tried to regenerate.
Like the Doctor.
Regurgitate, I was going for.
Thank you.
She tried to regurgitate the information that they'd clearly told her about this family member of theirs, as if it was my gran as well, and it wasn't. And I just thought, really?
Yeah.
That's sneaky. And, my family members, or his family members, went there because they wanted some sort of reassurance.
Yeah. What do you reckon, David?
Mary loves Dick. Mary loves Dick.
Okay. If you've just phoned up just to badmouth Derek Akora again, we have
Akora.
Sorry?
Akora.
We have had letters from Derek Akora's legal team, which I'm probably going to have to pass on to you at some point, I think.
Right, well, should we just pretend that we're talking about my friend Donald instead?
Donald Babura.
Donald Babura.
Yes.
Donald Babura is a charlatan. Donald Babora can, and excuse my French, suck a fat one.
Oh, yee! Strong words. Strong words.
Right, let me just get this straight. I don't think Donald Babora is lying. I think Donald Babora knows. He's actually quite good at what he does.
Yes.
But it's his arrogance.
Right. Yep.
And it's his hairstyle.
Oh.
Looks like a Mr. Whippy. Gone wrong.
I've tried to a Mr. Whippy. It's not. I've tried to type in, because lots of people are saying Derek Akura once spoke to the ghost of an alien. Is that possible, David?
Well, I personally don't believe in aliens.
You don't think aliens have ghosts?
Well, I don't believe in aliens.
But you believe in ghosts?
Well, of course.
Right. But do aliens have ghosts?
Well, I don't believe in aliens.
Can we go through a list of things that you do believe in? I just wanted to check, just for my own. I just want to calibrate myself.
Go on then, Kathleen.
Do you believe in vampires?
Are you going to say, do you believe in life after love? Because I've had that one plenty of times.
No. I'm not taking it on. I'm not going on a share tip.
Serious.
I just want to check.
Please.
Vampires,
Right.
yes or no?
No.
Werewolves?
No.
Demons?
Negative. Hang on, no, whoa. Do you mean demonic souls?
Yes.
Yes.
Frankenstein's monster?
No.
Gargoyles that come to life?
No.
The Invisible Man?
I wish Donald Babora was the Invisible Man. Hey, I've got some...
Leprechauns?
No.
Pixies, fairy folk?
I think you're dragging my name into the dust here.
Jack the Ripper travelling through time?
No. I don't believe in time travel.
Sorry?
I've got some good news.
Yes?
On the 11th of August, I'm coming to London, so if you want a coffee...
Thanks very much for calling. Let's go to Lester. Good evening, Lester.
Hello, folks.
Hey.
I was going to whinge about Derek Akara as well, but no, I'll leave the fraud alone myself.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I need to check out the legals. He did go to court, didn't he? Didn't he, about something?
Let me check out the legals.
We have to tread carefully.
I don't know. He can't have won, because he'd have to prove that he was legit in court.
No,
how could he do? How would he do that?
Well, this is.
Did he have a seance in court or something?
Yes, maybe he did. Let's. I tell you what we're going to do, right? With Derek Akora, we're going to tread carefully until we found out.
It was a driving thing.
He's a fake driver.
The guy's a fraud.
Right, hang on. Again, here's the weird thing, Lester. We still have to be slightly careful. We can't badmouth. I thought he'd gone to court because someone had called him a fraud, and he.
How could you possibly?
What about Psychic Sally? She went to court.
Well, she got busted, didn't she?
No. Maybe not. We'll find out. Hang on. I'm treading a very fine, legal, ghostly type.
It's not you doing it. It's not you doing it. It's me.
No, it doesn't matter. Here's the thing, and boy, oh boy, we've had the legal training enough.
Is that true?
Yeah. If you libel someone, and it's libel, not slander, guys. If you libel someone, you're and I don't correct it. You're responsible. I'm responsible as presenter. Kath's responsible as the producer, and Talk Radio is responsible as the publisher of the libel. And do you know what? They probably come after me and Talk Radio.
All right, then I'll rephrase it. According to the theatre staff, it was alleged that she.
No, I don't. Here's the thing. I don't even know. I think that occultism, seances, what are they called? What word am I trying to do? That's
the same thing, isn't it?
I think it's all
mediums.
Mediums. I'm sceptical. Let's face
it. Sally's a large, isn't she?
All right, here we go. Psychic Sally.
Here we go. Hang on a minute. Well, let's just find out. Yes, let me get some legal music. Here we go.
Right. Hang on.
I'm playing the legal
This
music.
article is the subject of a complaint made by agents acting on behalf of Sally Morgan Enterprises. It's talking about whether you could sue someone. Hang on, let me just find out what happened.
Okay, we'll stop the legal music. Are you watching Big Brother, Lester?
I haven't got a telly, mate.
Have you not?
No.
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
Here we go.
It's no kind of highfalutin reason why not.
How long you not had a telly for?
Oh, 2.5 years, just over.
What happened? Did it break or something and you just didn't get a new one?
No, I moved into a houseboat and
it would
I
sink.
never got round to buying a kind of telly that you can plug in.
It would sink under the weight of a television. Yeah, of course it would. I hadn't thought of that before. Why a houseboat, man?
I'd just had enough at Rat Race. I'd saved enough for a deposit on an house. And I just thought, actually, why sod this? Why not?
But you can't sail it, can you?
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
Where do you go?
I'm slowly making my way around all over the place.
Flipping it. But canals, though?
Yeah. Canals and rivers.
Okay. Well, good for you. Catherine's got the Let's Get the Legal Music
All right,
up
here
again.
we go.
Yes?
The Daily Mail's apologised and agreed to pay £125,000 in libel damages to TV psychic it falsely accused of using a hidden earpiece to scam a theatre.
Oh, in that case, everything that Psychic Sally does is absolutely legit and above board, and she can really speak with the dead. I'm more than happy. I'm more than
you
happy
don't have
to
to
say
go that far. We're just saying that she didn't do that.
All right then. Well, Kath, you dance with the devil if you want. I'm more than happy to raise a glass to Psychic Sally and say, "Long may you continue to speak to the dead people, bringing comfort to many, many millions around the country." There we go.
But the thing is, you can't say that either. We wouldn't be able to do something like that on this show because we'd have to say it was for entertainment purposes only, and they do on those shows as well, on the television.
Ruth, it's a legal minefield. Why are we even talking about this?
You've got to put it at the bottom of the posters because it's otherwise it's classed as a scam.
Oh God! Right? Okay.
Anyway,
I tell you what. Thank you. Let's. I think we dodged
the fun is over. The ghostly fun is over.
Dodged a silver bullet there, guys. On that bombshell, let's take a break.
Unmissable late night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation. Make contact with Iain. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
03444991000 is the telephone number if you want to give me a call. You're more than welcome to. I forgot to ask those last two callers whether they were drunk, sober, or high. I'm going to say they were. I'm going to say they were probably both drunk. So that's 3 drunks, 1 sober, and 1 druggie. So far. This time, but already, we've proved the critics wrong who think all of my callers are drunkards. I can guarantee the hosts are sober. We're sober. We have to do a breathalyzer before. I'm not allowed to drive the studio whilst drunk. We have to do a breathalyzer before each show. It's a contractual obligation. And so far, only 3/5 of my callers have been
rolling drunk.
Yes, exactly. The rest are absolutely fine. 03444991000 is the telephone number. The Daily Star as well seems surprised that acid attacks are very popular at the moment. There seems to be the thing
that grabs headlines, certainly.
Is it? I don't know how many acid attacks there have been. And I wonder if it's one of those things. There have been a couple recently, but I wonder if it's one of those things that, that papers hone in on. So we all think there are significantly more acid attacks than there were 12 months, 5 years ago. But maybe there's not.
Well, according to Sky News,
here we go.
There have been 400 acid attacks in 6 months leading up to April.
Sweet Lord Jesus!
So doctors have actually issued advice.
20 litres of water. Here's the thing: get the clothes off and pour 20 litres of water on them at least for 10 minutes. Well, how many last year? Because we need comparison.
2017 seen a big increase in acid attacks in the UK relative to 2016, the medics said.
Give me the comparisons. I need the comparisons.
It's not giving any figures.
I need a comparison. Well, the Star is surprised that you can buy acid. But bleach is acid. Bleach. And drain cleaner, that's acid. Of course you can buy that. I mean, you know knife crime. Guess what? You can walk into a shop and buy knives. I mean, I don't understand where the surprise
It's
is.
not like the, supermarket is selling great big black bottles with, skull and crossbones on, like in cartoons. It's everyday household products.
We buy 3 litres of killer acid in 20 minutes. And then they've got pictures of these stores, 2 cash and carry stores. Deadly acid is so freely available in stores, we were able to buy 3 litres in 20 minutes. But this is I see what they're doing, but not one shopkeeper asked our undercover reporter why we wanted it, despite a series of acid attacks in the area in recent weeks. Well, it's not they pick these tiny little cash and carries and corner shops, right? It's not their job to police it and say, excuse me, yeah, why are you, you're not going to chuck this in someone's face, are you?
It's drain cleaner.
Yeah, exactly. Which you can buy in a shop, legally. It was all purchased in shops along High Street North in Newham. Hazardous industrial cleaners with a 91% sulphuric acid content were available for less than £5. Newham teacher Dimitri Brown, 24, refused to believe the acid could be purchased in stores until our reporter showed him the bottles.
Well, if Dimitri doesn't believe it...
Newham teacher Dimitri Brown, 24, is, unless he's been a victim of one of these attacks, is a knob. Because...
Also, why did they pick on him?
He said it should be restricted. That's terrible. People shouldn't be able to buy above a certain percentage of sulphuric acid. Yeah, right, and you shouldn't be able to buy a knife above a certain sharpness. Stupid. You need to tell people, and we as a community should all be aware of what's going on. It's not illegal to carry the acid, and there is no age restriction on the purchase. Carer Samantha Williams, 40, said... Oh, they just voxed people.
Yeah, they have, yeah.
It's so scary. We need to put it behind the counter. It's everywhere. More than 1,800 attacks involving corrosive fluid have been reported since 2010. It's awful.
It's horrible
that it happens. But the fact you can buy drain cleaner it's not a story. And then voxing people going, oh yeah, it's terrible. It's not a story. You can buy knives. Guess what, guys? You can go and buy guns. Hey, Aaron.
Hi, Ian. I'm feeling a bit low. I'm lying here in the dark in Zagreb, and I'm a bit low, probably because I'm coming back tomorrow to Blighty, not in a nightie. And I know that when she talks about things that make one feel a bit low and get them out. And therefore I phoned in. And by the way, I'm not drunk or high. And I'm sober. But tomorrow I fly back to Blighty. So I thought I'd even up the score against the pissheads and the stoners and phone you. And by the way, I've not got a boner, even though it's 1 a.m. over here. And I feel much better. No.
So that is what the first hour of Monday...
I want to hear that musical.
He had a good voice.
Yeah.
He had a good voice.
There was a slight Elvis vibe to it.
I like that. And that is the first hour of Monday's show. I'm not even sure if we can do it for a full hour. We'll give it a good go. I am quite prepared for the wheels to come off it about 20 minutes into it.
Are we going to have a backing track? Just to give people some sort of guideline?
Well, here's the thing. We might have a backing track for us, but there's a very strange quirk in phone-in radio technology.
Yeah.
If I play a song on my computer, the callers will be about a quarter of a second behind it. So they'll be out of sync. So it could be a little bit awful. But saying that, we might need music to drown out the lack of... that was... by the way, he's back for an encore, ladies and gentlemen. Aaron is back. Well done, Aaron. Well done, Aaron. Marvellous performance.
We're
marvellous
throwing
performance.
Roses.
Thank you. Well, I thought, just give people an idea of what you want.
I'm glad you got it, for crying out loud. Thank you.
I think I think actually what would be, because I'm watching the football, but what would be a really good thing is the next World Cup, you could get Derek Acora on with dead football pundits, the ghost of football pundits,
Yes.
and he could sing out what they thought of the match.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? That we need more singing. You watch old-fashioned musicals, and I know every few years Hollywood makes a musical. I don't include La La Land because that wasn't a musical; it was miserable. But there's anyway, there's some
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. We should have more moments where people just burst into spontaneous song, and an orchestra swells behind them, and everybody's spirits will be lifted.
I think there should be. I think there should be National Opera Day where everybody has to sing.
Yeah, I'd be up for that.
Prime Minister's Question Time singing.
I'd be up for that.
I think it'd be very cathartic.
Yes.
Well, Aaron, so you're coming home tomorrow?
Yeah.
You're feeling a bit low, but the post-holiday blues.
I don't. I suppose so. Sometimes when you don't know why, but sometimes you just feel drained and a bit low. And I was just listening to to your show, and I thought, you know what, I should really get this off my chest.
Yes.
And so I thought I'll do it by singing. And when I heard that it was 3-1 to the Pissheads, I thought,
Well, that means now that half our callers are drunk, and this really does go against the critics that said all of my callers were drunk. I mean, I don't know how to take that. I mean, we need to get up to 129 to really get the stats, SH1T hot. But so far, it's 50% are drunk. 2/6, 1/3 are no.
Yeah.
2/6, 2/3.
1/3.
No.
2/3.
It can't be 1/3. 2/3. No. 1/3.
It's 3-2-1.
That's it. Yeah.
Three were drunk. Two
sober.
It's 3-2-1.
That's 3-2-1.
So it's half are drunk, 2 are sober, and 1 is stoned. So half are drunk, and then 2 out of 6, 1/3 is.
Catherine is impressed.
1/3 is
Aaron. Not of your maths, but because
I'm impressed by your maths and the fact that you managed to end the conundrum for us.
She's impressed. She's impressed by the fact I can do the 3-2-1.
Yeah, Ted Rogers.
Yeah, I can do it.
It's Dusty Bin.
You're just
Get
doing
his
that.
ghost
I'm
on.
not just doing that. I'm doing 3-2-1. I'm doing it. You do.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. What people on Periscope are watching me go 3-2-1. I'm doing it.
3-2-1.
I'm doing
Are
it.
you doing it, Aaron?
Dusty Bin.
Are you doing
It's
it?
Aaron, not Aaron.
I did. Aaron.
Aaron a G-string.
3-2-1. Yeah, Aaron a G-string. Never heard that one.
All right, mate. Right. Well, that's if you're going to be rude, you can go. I'm glad you feel miserable. It's time for a break.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Great story yesterday. Great story. The timing of it was perfect. The boss of BBC London. You saw that story?
Yeah, I did.
Dave Roby, a bloke who I did some shifts at BBC London. He offered me a job there to replace Duncan Barks, but I don't think Duncan knew about it. And I didn't do it. The last time I was there, I was filling in for Robert Elms, and it was. I thought I did a good job, and the only feedback I got was, don't say Fartsville.
Very rude.
Anyway, he sent an email out. That was not meant for everybody's eyes, but was like a round robin. Everyone got it at BBC London, criticising radio host Vanessa. I've got a lot of time for Vanessa. She's always been absolutely delightful to me. I think she's really sharp. I think she's very funny. I think she's very intelligent. Not necessarily the person I would necessarily choose to listen to myself personally, but when I've been in her company, she's always been delightful, and I think she's good at what she does. It's not a thing that appeals to me that much, But she's really, really good at it, and there is a big audience for that. And he sent out this email saying that
it was an appraisal, wasn't it? It wasn't just like an
It was it was an appraisal saying that that it was hard to get her to focus, and they wanted the interviews to be a bit tighter, and that it wasn't quite the feel for breakfast. She's got the highest listening figures. You should know, radar figures came out yesterday. She's got the highest figures for the breakfast slot on BBC London that it's ever had. And it just says to me, it's that thing, particularly within BBC local radio, but in other aspects of radio, of people who've never made radio shows sticking their beak in instead of trusting the people that have done radio for years and years and years, instead of trusting them to get on and do their job. And it's typical of that. Earlier this week, it was revealed her boss thought she lacked personality. How do you say that about Vanessa Feltz? She's got... if you said she's got too much personality...
Her cup runneth over.
Yeah, I know, exactly. But Vanessa Feltz has got her own back in the best possible way. This is a really nice story, actually. After pulling in record audiences for her BBC local radio breakfast show, the Radar audience figures revealing her show has broken the 300,000 listener mark for the first time came in the same week a critical memo about her was leaked. In the email, accidentally sent to staff, Radio London editor. Radio London, it's not called... Is it... Although did they change it back to Radio London?
I don't know. I know he tried to recall it and said, everyone, can you all delete it? Of course, the first thing you can do is read it.
Delete it and don't read it. OK, mate. Editor David Roby said Miss Felt's presenting style was said to lack personality, and a poor performance review claimed it was a constant battle to get the broadcaster to achieve the pace of a breakfast show. The suits, man, the suits don't always know what is right.
She's very pacey as a broadcaster. She speaks very quickly and she's very brisk. What do they want?
I know for a fact as well that this was certainly true a few years ago. LBC were throwing money at her feet to try and get her to go over there. The blunder was particularly embarrassing for the BBC, as it was revealed last week she is its second highest paid woman on a salary of up to £399,000 because she's a Jew, according to that.
Crazy.
That was the most incredible thing. Was it the Irish Times it was in? It wasn't. It was a branch of the Times. It was a column written by this guy,
Myers,
saying that her and Claudia Winkleman were earning so much because they were Jews. What planet? Because I read it and I saw it being tweeted and I thought, oh, it's on from like Breitbart or it's one of those right wing. It was. I think it was the Irish Times on Sunday.
There was a chap called Kevin Myers who apparently is very well known in Ireland for being,
outspoken.
That's one way of putting it.
Vanessa Feltz and Claudia Winkleman are being paid so much because they're Jews who are not known for underselling themselves. It was something like that. I'm paraphrasing it slightly.
Outrageous. You're not paraphrasing it that much.
It was kind of pretty close, wasn't it? Incredible.
And suggesting the other women aren't getting paid because they're stupid for hiring the wrong...
You want Jewish agents?
Yeah, outrageous.
Honestly, incredible. Incredible. Not surprisingly, the 55-year-old admitted she was distressed by the gaffe, but delighted to have been vindicated by boosted ratings. But here's the thing, right? The bosses will still try and change her. That despite the fact she's got through that 300,000 listener mark.
Well, they've got to fill that form in.
They will still try and change her because the number of listeners isn't that important to them, because to commercial radio it's important because you've got more listeners. We can go to advertisers and say, well, look, 60,000 people on the Iain Lee show will hear your advert, and BBC, they get the money either way. This is the thing I've had to... It took me 9 months when I was at the BBC to get shown my listener figures. Why do you want to see those? Don't go around telling them to everyone else.
Because you make them feel bad. Make other people feel bad.
She added, they're the best radars we've had in the history of the station, so obviously I'm delighted. It's a bit of a two fingers up. And I can't pretend it's been a nice few days, but I hope this marks the end of the nasty, very distressing period of time of negativity, which we now know was ill-founded. This job is my passion, my life and my pleasure, yet it felt absolutely bizarre to read in the papers in the morning that I'm presenting a failing show. Yesterday she revealed a contrite Mr. Roby had contacted her to apologise for the leaked email, which Miss Felt said she had not taken personally. Good for her. I think that's such a good story, and it really, really illustrates, particularly in BBC, but also in other areas of radio. And we're kind of lucky. Our boss literally lets us get on and do what we want. The only note we've had since we started on March the 21st last year was when we had lunch with him about a month ago. He said, you could maybe do a bit more from the newspapers. That was it. That was it. And we kind of did the bit from the newspapers anyway. But if that's the only note, boy, oh boy. And it appears that it's paying off as thanks to the figures yesterday. But this is great. This just sums up that kind of, that management thing of we got to meddle. It's got to follow this formula. You've got Vanessa Feltz, who is a big personality and is a brilliant broadcaster. Let her do the Vanessa Feltz act.
She's really, in a way, she came to them as a fully formed presenter.
Yep.
She'd already done other things elsewhere, and they still speak to her like that.
Yep.
Where I think that there is a difficulty is when they're bringing through younger talent, and this criticism comes at an early stage, and it can really knock the wind out of someone's sails.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started out as a presenter, I was told, don't tell the listener how you're feeling, they don't care.
Yeah.
All this stuff that actually gets in the way of you being yourself on the radio. So what you end up with is a load of people who are trained up by people who've never been on the radio.
Yep.
You know, just them and the microphone. But they're trained up and kind of made to knock all the edges off, knock all the personality off. This is the danger. I'm sure there are some success stories that have come through BBC Local Radio. I think Dermot O'Leary did when he got onto he went from BBC Essex, didn't he, and got onto T4.
Yeah.
He was great. But you're kind of made into, kind of luxury newsreaders. So you just read that out and don't inject any of yourself into it.
No personality, guys. No personality.
Because no one wants to know you.
0344 499 1000, by the way, is the phone number. Gene Simmons is sending fans utterly wild with his new beefed up look. Have you seen this?
Yes.
A calf with an uncanny resemblance to the Kiss frontman was born in Texas on Friday, sending the star's followers into a spin. Hill Country Visitor, a tourism agency, shared the image on Facebook, joking that Simmons could be the father.
God.
Milking the attention, the agency asked the singer, where were you on or about November the 25th, 2016? Simmons himself was delighted, tweeting, this is real, folks. I've got a lot of time for Kiss. I think they're wonderfully stupid, and their first few albums are joyous nonsense rock and roll. I mean, Gene Simmons, I think, is a horrible, lecherous old perv, having seen him in action. But there were so many rumours about Kiss in the 70s, because no one, it was a brilliant, it's hard to think now, but it was a brilliant gimmick to cover your face in paint so no one knew what you looked like. No one knew who they were. No one knew what they looked like.
And it's meant they've had interchangeable band members, hasn't it, over the years?
It means that. And also it means, Simmons has got to be over 65, but it means they wear wigs now and stuff, but it means they still look like they did when they were 30, a little bit bigger, a little bit larger around the waist, but they still look the same age, and it's an absolute genius thing. But one of the rumours that went round, because Simmons, of course, is famous for sticking his tongue out and having a really long tongue, and one of the rumours was that he had a cow's tongue. He'd had his tongue removed and had a cow's tongue surgically implanted. I want. Could you do a tongue transplant? Where does the tongue go? Here we go. Here's a question.
It's really long. It goes right into your.
Where does it go? Where is the base of the tongue? What is it connected to? That is a great question, and we won't get the answers tonight, guys. We've only got 4 minutes of the show. Kath's trying to follow her tongue down. Tomorrow's show, remind me, tomorrow night, Friday evening, the whole show will be dedicated to the tongue as we try and find the source of the tongue. It can't go.
I think your Adam's apple is the knot that stops it from bobbing up and down.
You don't have an Adam's apple.
Well, I've got a tiny one.
No, women don't have an Adam's apple.
Well, you do, but it's just not as pronounced as a man's.
What is that made out of?
Gristle.
So
it's like a knuckle.
Does the tongue go to my balls? Am I tonguing my balls?
No, you'd never get any work done.
I could be tonguing the inside of my balls.
I don't think so.
I can feel something.
If you stick your tongue really far out, does it hoik them up?
Oh, yeah. Might do. I can feel... Tomorrow's show, it's going to be... Can you get me a tongue expert on tomorrow? A tongue doctor. Dr. Tongue. Can you see if you can find some... Right, here's what we want tomorrow. This is what we want on tomorrow's show, Catherine, and this is genuine, right? I want a tongue doctor. I want a man called Dr. Tongue. I want a chief of a tribe called Tunga. And I want someone called Steve Lips. Those people, if you can get... It is genuine. I don't hear you typing, but I genuinely want all of those people, because I think that would be the best show.
I'm feeling a sickie coming on.
Line 1, you're on the wireless.
Hey, Ian. About an hour ago, you were saying, talking about vaping, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Has it ever occurred to you that vaping compared to cigarettes smells actually quite nice?
Sorry?
That vaping compared to cigarettes actually smells nice? 'Cause you've got all these, like...
Well, that wasn't I quite like the smell of a bit of Golden Virginia.
Well, Golden Virginia? I think it's revolting.
Well, that's your opinion. But we weren't talking about whether vaping smelt nice or not. We're trying to destroy this myth that vaping isn't harmful to you or others.
No, I agree, because, like, you can get, like, even nicotine-free versions and everything of that. Have you seen them?
Yeah, but it's not just the nicotine that's harmful.
Okay, what is it then?
Well, you heard me talking about it an hour ago when I read the article.
Well, I just thought I'd just point it out there that, you know, it's not just like the health effects. I thought, you know, like, that you find it revolting even?
What do I find revolting? Callers who don't know what they're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I find that revolting. I find that unforgivable, caller.
Thank you. That's what I wanted.
Thanks very much indeed. I mean, this really is turning into a proper late-night phone-in show now. This is the best slot on radio, man. I love it. And we were saying this to Matt. I think we were off air when we were talking to Matt about it. I love it. I love it. I love the fact. And we're really starting to get them now. Since we've had those adverts in the Sun, and since we kind of Kath and I have upped our game a bit, we're really starting to get callers like that, and the guy who electrical thoughts. You can't see electricity, you can't see thoughts. He sent me his email address. I'm never going to use it. But we're starting to get random call. This is like turning into a late night phone in from the 90s, and I am very, very happy that we're heading in that direction.
He made a strong point though, didn't he? Does smell nice.
Dear listener, that's it. We're done for another night. Don't forget. There are podcasts aplenty. You can download the best of this if you go to iTunes or your usual podcast provider and type in Iain Lee, Talk Radio. You can also listen to the whole show again. You'll go to talkradio.co.uk, go to the diary kind of section. It's a little bit fiddly, but it works. Maybe I'll post another video tomorrow if I can remember to do that. But you can listen to the whole show if you go on the calendar and click on the show. And as well as this, there is also a rabbit hole show that Catherine and I co-host together. It's the last Newcastle one went up today, and Manchester is going up next week. Thank you very much for listening. Thanks for watching. Until tonight at 10, ta-ta.